All right, well, welcome back to Chillin with Dylan. This is episode number 15.
Oh.
And today I am joined by my brother of the Sigma Chi fraternity, Mason Barratt. Mason, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Chillin. Good to have you here finally. We've been talking about it for months, and it's here now.
I know, man. It's an honor. It's seriously an honor.
I'm happy to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Right? What do you do for Thanksgiving break?
Oh, man. Whole lot of nothing, really.
For now?
Yeah, just for now. I decided not to go back home.
At all?
No. Like, I did an early Thanksgiving earlier this month, though.
Okay, there you go.
So, I saw my family and everything already.
Right.
And they coming down on Friday, and we're
There
going to
you
go
go.
spend the weekend on Vegas. So.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Vegas yesterday, actually, to drop off my cousin at the airport. It was cool.
Oh, heck yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I love Vegas.
I know, it's fun. I like going there for, like, day trips, right? Walking the strip, hanging out,
Right.
having a good time.
Is it a nightmare because the F1 bullshit?
Yeah. There was, like, 3 roads closed, and it was huge, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to, where'd I go? We did this thing called Flyover Vegas. You ever done those?
No, is that like the zip line on Fremont Street?
No, I want to do that one, but it's you like sit in this row, and then it pushes you forward. It's like a little ride thing,
Right.
And it showcased. We went over the Canadian Rockies. It was kind of dope.
Hey, that's
You know what I mean? Wholesome little experience in Vegas. Those rarely happen, so it was good.
Right.
Yeah.
Vegas, wholesome. Those
Right.
things don't.
They don't.
mix
They,
together.
yeah. at
Sin
all.
City.
it's not, which is kind of funny. But yeah. So today, right? You're obviously a geology major.
Yes, I am.
You're in the Sigma Chi fraternity with me.
I am.
You
proudly.
Proudly. We both love philosophy. Which is dope.
Absolutely.
So I think it'd be a good conversation. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm down for.
100%. You know, it's been a minute. I haven't been reading as much as I wish I have.
Right.
As you know, the semester gets busy, and then
course.
chemistry. You know, Mr. Jacob Dean has something to say about it.
Of course.
But no, the recent one that I read is Epictetus.
Okay.
Yeah, he was actually one of the mentors to Marcus Aurelius, and I know we've had the conversations about Marcus Aurelius,
Right.
but no, that one's a definitely interesting read. You know what I mean? It's more like because Marcus Aurelius never identified himself as a Stoic. He saw himself as like a student of philosophy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He like understood it all and read it all, but based just on how he acted and like accounts of him, he was
Right.
like a diehard Stoic.
Yeah.
But like Epictetus, he was that. He was
a Stoic.
He was the,
Right.
no other philosophies. It's like that's the way you got to live life.
Right. Which is cool.
Right. It's a very interesting way to live life, I think. You know what I mean? Because it's like
Yeah.
the way I think of it, it's not a way to live life to enjoy life, but it's more so a way to live life to avoid pain.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
What were some of his? Because I know I'm familiar with Marcus Aurelius, right? I've read some of Meditations. That's about it. But what were some of his big things, I guess?
So, like, the big idea of Epictetus is just exactly that, is avoiding suffering. Like,
Okay.
you have a choice in the reaction that you make,
Right.
which dictates the reality of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like he was very big on take everything as face value. It's like one of the examples. It was like your son is sick, okay, and everyone else obviously freaks out. It's like, oh, my son's dying. He's gonna die, you know. But he's just like, whoa, calm down. He's not dead yet.
Right.
He's just sick. You know what I mean? Just trying to take everything at like face value and not read too heavily into things.
Yeah. And monitor your reaction, right? Be more in control than emotional, which is cool.
Right, 100%. But it's a hard way to live.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very
Because,
hard.
You know, something, happens, and then one of those first reactions, anger, sadness, whatever,
Right.
that's a hard way to live, to control that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's impressive, It's something to model after, but
Right.
it's like...
Because I know we know his philosophies, right, and what he set out, but I'm curious how he actually was living through them, right? Because I think there are things you strive for constantly, you know what I mean?
Right.
But can you really achieve them as a human? You can do your best too, which is dope. But I wonder how truly emotionless he was. You know what I mean?
Like how well he succeeded, how much of a hard ass he was.
Yeah. Just I don't know. He could have been really good. You never know. But
No, 100%. But yeah, no, that's... It's something to model for, but I don't know. It's almost like an unrealistic standard to live up to. But you and I are familiar with that, with like the White Cross and all that stuff type shit. You know, it's never something that you ever achieve, but it's just something that you keep going for.
Right.
And that's like the whole point. You know what I mean? It's not the destination; it's the journey type.
Exactly. And I feel like that's how a lot of philophers think too, because like they're constantly striving to hit it.
Right. You can always be better.
Yeah, always, which is good. Yeah, Stoicism is interesting because it's like, I don't know. A lot of people, I know philosophers who enjoy reading philosophy. They either love Stoicism or absolutely hate Stoicism, just because it's like you're just emotionless and a hard ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And other people are like, you need to feel the emotions, and I don't know. It's definitely a fine balance, but I just like Marcus Aurelius because he was a Roman emperor.
Right.
But
the
he's
last
still
great Roman
the
emperor.
last one, right? The last great one. And then he's just, I don't know. His struggles are exactly like ours.
Right.
You know
100%.
what I mean?
It's so crazy because you read those books and it's like the shit that he was dealing with back then is applicable today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
In the Roman Empire, which is crazy.
Yeah. What did Washington say? I believe it was Washington, but it was like, if you do not understand history, you're bound to repeat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy how applicable. The bullshit that they were dealing back before, the internet, cars, anything you'd consider modern, they're dealing with the exact same thing.
Stuff, which is crazy.
Like, just same shit, different day.
Which, it's cool. I don't know. It's because it's also funny, too, because they're just his journals, right? He never expected them to be published.
Yeah. Actually, it was, I remember reading about this. The book that I bought of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius had like an intro, and it explained that it was found generations after he died. It was just kind of like piggybacked. So it's actually even like up for debate that what we read as Marcus Aurelius Meditations were even what actually he wrote.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was found generations after his death. And then it was just kind of like, what's that game? Telephoned.
Yeah.
Like all the way down.
Of course.
And it's, because people add stuff, people take stuff out.
Thousands of
gets
years.
watered
Right.
down.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
As it goes.
I mean, still, the message that I think that he was trying to portray, kept in there.
Of course. Which is good.
Can't weed that out.
As a Roman emperor.
Right.
It's crazy. I don't know. Someone, I went on a date like a month ago, and she just randomly asked me, she's like, how often do you think of the Roman Empire? You probably heard of that before.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I was like, actually pretty often. You know what I mean? Actually quite a bit, because, I don't know, it's so applicable in every way.
Yeah, it's like something I'm trying to model my life after.
Exactly.
It's
crazy.
I don't know. I think that's so funny because some of those guys got to be capping, like I think of it every single day. And I'm like, I mean, me too, but like not like that.
Yeah,
Come
I know.
on now.
Not like living in it, right? Yeah, just, I don't know.
Right.
They're funny.
They're the ones having those gladiator fantasies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Russell Crowe in the stands. Are you not entertained? Type shit.
I want to go to Rome so bad.
Oh, man, I think it'd be beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
I mean, it's crazy that all that infrastructure is still standing.
Right.
Like, have you heard of, they finally cracked the secret to Roman concrete?
How'd they do that?
So, Roman concrete was made. To backtrack, they were, very, very unsure of how all these structures stayed standing over time, especially some of these bridges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when they made their concrete mixture, they threw extra lime in it. And so when there would be a crack and water would get in through that crack, the lime would dissolve and spread out and basically self-heal the crack.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, Colosseum's been standing for this long.
Like lime the vegetable or fruit, whatever it is?
No, like limestone.
Oh, limestone, okay.
Yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
that one's, and it's still used in modern day
Concrete?
because that shit will tear up your nose and stuff.
Right.
When you're dealing with concrete, you gotta wear a mask and shit. But no, they just used an extra ton of it, and yeah, it made self-healing
That's
concrete.
dope. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Interesting.
no. It's crazy how smart that they were.
Right.
And how that, now that we even have all this technology, we're like, how the hell did
Did they do
that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Rome and Egypt. Those are the big ones, right? They are always freaking out with the pyramids and then
Right.
Rome. Rome had sewers, right?
Yeah, they did. They had a very functional sewer system.
Absolutely wild.
Well, I mean, you can say functional to a point because it did just dump all the shit right into their drinking
Yeah.
water. You know
But
what
yeah.
I mean?
The idea was there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at least it was they had plumbing.
Exactly.
Indoor plumbing.
Plumbing is crazy.
I know.
I know the Colosseum's crazy. It's huge, still standing, right? Apparently had a big awning at one point,
Yep.
which is crazy.
They say it used to be able to be flooded and they'd have boat battles.
Damn.
Yeah.
That'd be even more crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still in use today. Have you heard of that? What is it? Shit, Elon Musk and Facebook lizard guy. Who's that guy?
No, it's Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
Facebook lizard guy. Yeah.
But they agreed to a boxing match.
Right, yeah.
And they literally were able to convince the government of Rome to let them have it in the Colosseum.
Colosseum, that'd be so dope.
That's gonna be insane.
Oh yeah. If they actually do it, that's breaking records.
Oh, yeah.
Two richest guys in the world.
Yeah, Mayweather fights, Logan Paul fights, Conor
tops it.
McGregor fights. Nothing, bro.
Nothing tops it.
That's gonna be the most streamed fight of all time.
Right? Oh, that'd be so crazy, especially in the Colosseum.
Oh, dude, literally actual gladiators.
That would be dope. That'd be super dope. We'll see if that actually happens because I know Mark Zuckerberg trains MMA
Yes, he
actively, and Elon Musk is on the bigger side.
Yeah.
It just talks mad.
Yeah, there's going to be a definite weight difference in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. The weight difference will be crazy.
No, that'll be interesting. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, an idea you know, because everyone's like, eat the rich or whatever. The rich are the bad people, you know what I mean? And now they're actually going to go out there and like
hash it out.
Yeah.
Which should be crazy.
Right.
No one would expect that.
No, because I mean, those UFC guys, they're like modern day gladiators.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Train for it, yeah. Their whole lives training.
And then it's all circling back, but now instead of the poor people in the Coliseum getting killed, it's the rich people in the Coliseum beating the shit out of each other.
That would be so legendary. Oh my God, I can only imagine.
Yeah, Rome trip in the spring?
I'm down. I'm so down. I want to go to Rome so bad.
Oh, man.
Rome and Greece.
I would love to spend a couple weeks in Greece, just right there in the Mediterranean.
Four of my friends are actually there right now. And I could have gone, but I went to Africa earlier, so I couldn't do 2 trips this year, right? Which is unfortunate,
but Africa, how was that? Tell me about that.
Beautiful experience. Have you ever left the country?
For about 15 seconds, I was in Canada.
There you go.
Yeah,
Canada's pretty dope.
Yeah, no. So you know those like you know the boats that Pam and Jim got married on, like in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So I went on a boat ride, you know, when we were up there.
Right.
And on the way back, it crosses over the Canadian border for like 15 seconds.
There you go.
And it was hilarious because they had Canadian boats and American boats, and every time we would pass, we'd be like singing the national anthem, and they'd be singing their national anthem.
That's funny. We love that.
Oh man, USA all day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But no, when we went to Africa, right? It was a study abroad, 3 weeks.
Okay.
6 credits. Photojournalism and ecotourism. Absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
With how culturally different it was, but also there were similarities and differences.
Right.
But the people were so nice, and it's the last true monarchy in the world. One of them. It's called Eswatini.
Okay.
The king has 17 palaces, one for each of his wives, and everyone else is pouring. He said, "Yeah,
bro, big ballin'."
It was wild. It was a wild experience, but also I don't know. The people were so nice and wholesome, and it was wild. There's no internet. I have internet at all for 3 weeks. Right. I just loved seeing how many things I don't need over there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like how much does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is dope. Yeah.
Like how much you can seriously like strip from your life and still be completely fine.
Completely.
Right.
Like these people were literally living in dirt huts and happiest people I've ever met.
Right. And
know
that's
what I mean?
something admirable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so admirable.
Like,
you know?
It's, you know, everyone's so materialistic nowadays.
Right.
You know, it's just, you know, I have to have the newest this or the fastest car or the nicest shoes or all that stuff, man. But it's like, you can buy all that stuff, but is you still happy?
At all.
Like,
not at all, right? Yeah. Which is, I don't know. It was dope just because, I don't know, we went to one little village thing and they made homemade beer out of, I don't know what they had, but they had goats and chickens walking around us. I drank some. It wasn't the best, but you know what I mean? But they made it and I had to try it, obviously. But
still better than Busch Light?
Still better than Busch Light. Still better than Busch Light. And yeah, they were just, I don't know, they were just happy. Happy to exist, which was so admirable.
That is. So what, like, were you taking pictures of down there? Was it like wildlife or just
everything?
Like, or even like the people and stuff inside the villages? Just kind of like documenting your whole experience down there?
Because at the end you had to make a scrapbook.
Right.
It's different criteria to meet for like the final project.
Right.
I made a video.
Okay.
So I did the same thing just in video form.
Right.
So they basically just documented all of it, right? Everything we did. Made a vlog on the site too. It was just dope. Different places we stayed.
That sounds dope.
It was dope.
Where can I check that out, bro? I want to see that.
I'll send it to you. It's on YouTube.
Perfect.
I'll send you both of them.
Perfect.
I made a cinematic one and then just a vlog, but it was cool.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
No, but I mean, you really do have like a talent for that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I appreciate
for
that.
the record, you know, I've never been on a podcast before. You are the first person to experience me to any of this
on a podcast.
But I also have noticed like you're our historian. So you're running our Instagram. Our Instagram is popping. Your YouTube channel, absolutely popping.
Appreciate that.
Your streaming channel, Exotic.
Appreciate that.
I've watched some episodes of that. You're streaming Minecraft and stuff.
Yep.
Like, have you ever considered like just straight up full on pursuing this?
That's the goal, right? That's obviously the goal. I'm going to college right now as like a backup, but if I could do anything, it'd be that.
You know, because I think you have it. You know, you've got the personality for the camera, the voice. You know, you have the skills to edit, create content, everything stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I was reading something the other day. It's like YouTuber is now the #1 profession that children want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 10 years ago, it was like astronaut, firefighter, policeman, whatever. But now it's like
it's YouTuber.
You want to be a YouTuber.
Because it's dope.
Yeah, no,
let's make
seriously.
videos and make tons of money, right?
Oh, seriously, just live the life that you want to live. It's, I don't know. It's one of those things that it's like, yes, it's an amazing idea, but now it's like so oversaturated.
It is oversaturated,
so
which is bad.
You gotta have like the skill to make yourself special.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
In any kind of way.
Seriously.
Which is harder to do.
100%.
Yeah. But we're trying it. I appreciate you saying that, by the way. Thank
100%.
You. Thank you.
Seriously, I think you need to be pursuing this shit heavily.
I am. I was because you know how I'm a senior and I just barely joined Sigma Chi and all that.
Right.
It's because for the first 3 years of college, it's all I did was YouTube.
Right.
And it worked, but that's all I cared about.
Right.
So I'd go to school and then go home and then do YouTube.
Right.
And then work at McDonald's, right?
Right.
And so as soon as I stepped back and started caring more about me and my life, YouTube started doing better, which is just funny how that works, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. It'll happen.
No,
I made,
100%.
I think, $3,000 in 3 years.
I mean, hey,
And
you know what? Everyone starts somewhere.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Google started in a garage.
Which is crazy.
You know?
And look at Google now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that's very admirable. Seriously, I think it's something that in today's day and age, it's super attainable.
Right.
And you're obtaining it.
Obtaining
You know
it.
what I mean?
Slowly but surely.
Right.
You ever thought about starting?
You know, not really, but I've never found myself like a very interesting person.
Okay.
You know what
I think
mean?
you're interesting.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. But I don't know. I feel like my life is very, wake up, do your shit, go to bed. There isn't nothing like to be excited about or to be showing people. You know what I mean? And I'm also very much on the mindset is I'm not a very big social media person. I've tried to step more into that this year, especially with like an alpha phi position and like being in Sigma Chi that I need to be more of a face, more of an influence here on campus. But I used to, and still partially like hate social media. I think it is such a life-sapping thing. You just get so drained. It's like, and it's sad, you know what I mean? Because people like are judging themselves and are comparing themselves to these
Other people.
These other people, but it's all fake. It's all fluff. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
That's all
edit
it
their
is.
pictures, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And it's only the good stuff, right? It's the positive moments. And
Right.
it never highlights any negative stuff.
right. And there's a lot of that in the background, you know what I mean? Like, people are brutal, especially in an industry as cutthroat as this, as social media.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
So many benefits, but so many negatives with it.
Right. As is everything in life, you just got to choose which poison you prefer.
Right. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Right.
I don't know. Social media is interesting. And it's only getting more interesting too with everything. World's changing very dramatically.
I know that's terrifying to think about. Me and my roommate were talking about that last night. It's like the world that our parents grew up in is nothing like the world that we are in now.
At all.
You know what I mean? And in 20 years from now, the world that our children are going to grow up in is going to be drastically different than the one we grew up in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's terrifying.
It is. And it's I don't know. It's wild how, because I think, I feel that way because I have 2 little brothers.
Right.
And I feel that way about them.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're 15 and I see them get home from school and just scroll through TikTok all day. That's all they do.
Right.
Is TikTok and play Fortnite, which is fine.
Right.
But
Teach
it's
their
like,
own.
I was like, damn, completely different.
Seriously.
There's no TikTok when I was a kid.
No, hell no.
And I already feel like that. Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, see, and I never even got my first phone until I was 14 years old.
I think but about the same for me.
Yeah, so I wasn't on Instagram. I wasn't doing all of that. It's like, I was bored. Fucking go outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
Go outside and do something fun.
Yeah, like ride your bike, go break a bone or something.
Right. Anything. Anything.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I was lucky like that growing up is that I always had that outdoor access. But I grew up in rural BFE, Utah.
Where there was all that stuff to do, which
yeah.
is fun.
Oh yeah, it was an interesting experience growing up, but it's one I'm thankful for because it allowed me to do very unique things.
Right.
You know what I mean? That people aren't doing. Like, because I'll be out here talking like growing up, and I'll be like, oh yeah, just going out to the river and just shooting guns at a cliff. You know what I mean? And people are like, what third world country do you come from? I'm like, dude, I'm just living the sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not third world. It's NASCAR and rednecks.
Yeah, that's what it is. NASCAR and rednecks.
NASCAR
No, that's fair.
and rednecks. No, it was a very interesting experience. But I am thankful that my parents did that to me because, it developed social skills that now I think that is partially the reason that I hate social media.
It's because of what it's doing against social skills? Or?
Well, it's just something that I didn't grow up with. You know what I mean? So I was able to live without it. But as I grown older, trust me, I'm not old. But as I've grown older, just seeing it take more and more of a hold and influence on people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, how are you going to let something so fake give that much power over you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's people out here, depressed, killing themselves over some shit they see on Instagram.
It's unreal.
It makes zero sense to me, you know what I mean? It's like the healthiest thing you can do is freaking throw your phone away. You know
it really is.
And then go live in Africa for a minute and see what true happiness is like.
Unreal. Unreal, the difference.
Right.
I loved it, though. So good. I think everyone should do that. Experience a third world country.
Seriously.
in some way.
Just go out in the middle of nowhere for a month, no internet, no nothing, and just, live. Actually live.
Like, it's wild.
Right.
I think about it because, like, back in the day, you had to call people up. Mm-hmm. You all just share the same phone, and if you want to talk to somebody, you call them up. Or
right.
I can't imagine just calling somebody nowadays.
Yeah, no.
It would always be snap or message first, right?
Yeah,
it would never just be calling.
Unless if I call you immediately, it's because I need something like right then and there. You know what I mean?
Other than that, you're not gonna be like, hey, you want to hang out? Like, you call them.
Yeah.
Just be weird.
Yeah, seriously. Just shoot them a text.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. There is, like, the generational thing, because I cannot text my grandparents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they just don't,
I get it, yeah.
they don't keep up with it. So, there are some you got to call, but it's like, no, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Because, my parents, we talk about that, too, when they were kids, or, well, not kids, but, like, teenagers and stuff. A boy called you or a girl called you, you had a 5-minute limit, and you had to talk to them in the kitchen where the phone was, where everybody could hear you.
Absolutely wild.
You know what I mean?
And you had to call them. You couldn't even text. It's just crazy. It'd be a different scenario completely. I couldn't imagine doing it.
No, seriously.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I would never. I don't know. It's wild.
I don't know, but I think that is a blessing because circling back, it's just the social skills. It's like sad. You know what I mean?
How much has gone out the window?
And even here in college, like, dudes are terrified to talk to women.
Completely.
Like, completely
scared.
And, like, it makes me nervous, too. Like, just as it naturally does. But, like, some dudes are just straight up terrified of it and refuse to do it because they just don't have any social skills.
That's how I was. Yeah. That's how I started caring more about school. But, yeah.
Right. No, but it's seriously shocking.
Right.
And it's only going to get, like, worse and worse, you know what I mean?
Progressively it'll get worse, and it's just how it's going to go. We'll see what happens. I don't know, especially with, I don't know, dog. It's so many things of this generation are just absolutely destroying people. Porn's running rampant more and more. You got social media.
Right. It's just all just poison. Poison through a screen.
That's all it is.
No.
Instagram, all you see is models. Whenever I see anything that I don't need to see, I hide it or report it because it's just trying to get me to fail. You know what I mean? In whatever aspect.
Another distraction, you know what I mean?
That's all it is.
Because, circling back all those Instagram thoughts, you know what I mean? That destroys a desire. You know what I mean? It's like in the porn or whatever, there's no admiration to actually go out and achieve that for yourself.
It's all right there.
You know what I mean?
It's all right.
Because you can get your little dopamine boost. You go do your little shit in your bathroom. You know what I mean? And then, you just don't want to talk to women,
right?
Or try to pursue a woman,
and it's a very bad thing.
No, seriously, it's straight up poison. I was reading something the other day. It was like the stimulation that pornography does to your mind is like similar to hard drugs, and it can like damage your brain over long-term times. Right. Similar to hard drugs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It just like fries that dopamine receptor, sender, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because it's just instant access to it.
That's so good at biohacking humans for profit.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? In every way.
Because once they get into it, it's seriously an addiction. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Like you damn near need to go to therapy or rehab or whatever to get rid of that
Porn's
shit.
for sure an addiction. Yeah.
100%, but...
Yeah. I don't know. Porn's a big one. And porn is so normalized, right?
Right.
Yeah, which is awful. And then I think, other than that, social media can be addicting.
Right.
But I think porn's probably the biggest underlying addiction that no one realizes they have. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like that one is kind of a silent one because it's like, this is such a crazy thought, but think of like, how many people did you grow up with and like they were on that shit, never said anything. Their parents were on that shit, never said anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? It can happen to anyone, like the old elder dude in your church could be like on that shit.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something that's, it's so easy to hide, so easy to miss, but they're just seriously destroying themselves. Yeah. Destroying social skills, destroying a love life or even an interest in a love life.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. And it's no disrespect to the people that do it because I understand that like there's a job and you're just doing your job. Yeah. I'm not hating on like sex workers or anything like that because as long as it's within a legal standard, I have no problem with it. More power to you. It's a free country.
Yeah.
But as it is with everything, like excess is where shit gets bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's cool to drink, but when you're drinking a bottle of vodka every day, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
Like it's fine to smoke weed, but when you're smoking 4, 5, 6 times a day, you can't do anything without getting high first. You know what I mean? That's an issue.
That's when it's a problem.
And, food, people have to eat food. But when you're just, stuffing your face 24/7,
it's a problem.
Become a fat bastard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And anything without moderation is a problem.
Seriously.
Which is how I see it.
Right. And I don't know. It feels like control is something that's like less and less nowadays.
Of course.
People are just not getting or just not having or taking as much control over their lives or, their destiny.
It's unreal.
I very much try to live my life by that, like Carpe Diem, seize the day, control your destiny type shit.
Right.
Because I let any outside influence dictate
how your life's going to go.
How I'm going to do my life,
Which is good.
Yeah, seriously. Because at the end of the day, there's only going to be one person on my deathbed, and that's me.
Yep.
So the only person that actually matters, what I thought about my life or what anyone thought about my life is me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as when I'm on my deathbed, I'm content with what I did, with the years that I had.
Right.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. And I have that same mentality. Sometimes people think it's egotistical, but it's like, it's just the truth. It's not egotistical. No. It's just how it is. It's like you're going to die alone,
Seriously.
Right? And the only person who needs to care about your life is you.
Seriously.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter to anybody else.
Yeah, you strip away everything. I mean, and it is sad and it sounds tough to say, but I mean, it's not going to be your parents with you. It's not going to be your siblings with you. It's not going to be your spouse, friends, whatever. Like,
it's going to be you.
It's going to be you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to be able to, face whatever, if you believe in an afterlife or whatever, you got to be able to face that music confidently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't be going in there and being like, oh no, I wish I did this. I didn't mean to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, too little, too late,
Yeah. No regrets, just living life.
Right.
That's how I see it. I don't know. And it's not like, that approach isn't that you hate everybody, right? It's just.
No, 100%.
Because sometimes people think that. It's like, oh, you only care about yourself. Or
no, 100%. I care deeply for my friends, my brothers, Sigma Chi.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've got a lot of cares. Alpha Phi, I love them deeply, my family, my friends. But it's like, at the end of the day, I've got to make sure I'm okay.
Right.
Because if I want to be there for everyone else, I got to make sure that I'm
you.
good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's independence, not codependence.
So, independence, number one.
Yeah, seriously. If you're not good by yourself, then you can't be good with anybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Took me a long time to figure that out, but now I got that, which is good.
That is one of the biggest growths that a man can take in his personality.
His independence. Yeah.
Like, just be good, but with being by yourself.
That's how you have to be as a man. Yep. It just is what it is.
Yeah, man. No one gives a shit about us. You know what I mean?
Really, though.
It's very much thug it out, shut up, no one cares,
That's how it is for men.
Which is sad,
It is.
What was it? The other day was Men's Mental Health Day.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, no. I remember I saw some people post about it on their story and all that stuff. But no, it is a serious thing that it's like, you got to make sure you take care of yourself.
Right.
And
as I'm getting older and older, I'm realizing how much more. And as I'm opening my mind more, I'm realizing how little men, I guess, speak up, right? Or about anything.
Right.
I'm trying to think how to word that. You know what I mean, though?
No, I know 100% what you mean because this isn't a diss on my dad. I love my father very dearly, but that was very much kind of the way I grew up. It was like men don't have feelings. You thug it out, be tough. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody see you cry. Don't let no one see you fold.
Yeah.
And I still do live that standard.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I understand that it's maybe not the healthiest way to live, but it's the way I know how to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, I've been going through some shit, but I've been going through it quietly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I don't want that to affect any of the life that I have around me.
Right.
And as long as I can keep that controlled and at least to a point that I'm okay with it, then, you know what I mean? Just thug that shit out in quiet.
Yeah.
Which isn't the healthiest thing in the world, but.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think you have to talk to people about what you're going through a little bit, at least just to release it a little bit, right? But at the same time, you have to keep doing what you got to do. You got to keep living.
Right. And that's something that I have been improving on. I talk to my roommates very heavily, Natty, Connor, if you're listening to this. Love you guys. Seriously. But no, and I used to be way bad about it. When I lived in California was my peak of it. I would just bottle it all up, and then whenever it finally came out, it was always anger. Right. You know what I mean? And it was always, it approached as sadness, but by the time it finally came out, it was anger. Right. You know what I mean? And I would freak out over the smallest shit, and then straight up almost have a, meltdown, breakdown or whatever.
Yeah.
But shout out to my dad again, because without him in those times, I wouldn't figure out how to get through that. I would still be acting like this today.
Oh.
But then he finally was like, look, dude, stop fucking carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah,
you're 17. Relax.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair.
But
Nice.
no, it's crazy.
That was growth. It's interesting. I don't know. That's why philosophy is so good, right? Because like the one thing that never ends is suffering. It's the only constant in life is you're just always suffering about something.
Yeah, no, seriously. Tragedy is nothing unique to the human experience.
Yeah.
Every single one of us gets to go through it.
Right. And it's something I don't know. I've learned to enjoy it because that's all it is. But
Right. Seriously.
yeah, I don't know.
I thought of this the other day, and this one was an original quote. I was just like, I've been told that I've talked like a book reads, and it's just like, I don't know why. It's just my thought process. But I was just thinking the other day, and I thought of this. It was like, tragedy only becomes tragedy when you can no longer laugh. You know what I mean? It's like,
I like that.
in my opinion, it only becomes a tragedy when you like lose the ability to like sit back and find the comedy in it. Because everything is funny.
Yeah.
You can find the comedy, the silver lining in a bad situation.
Right.
But it only turns to tragedy when that silver lining's gone. And I'm not saying that it's impossible for that silver lining is to be gone, because tragedies do happen.
Yeah.
But like if you're able to just look back at your life and all the like major obstacles or hurdles or anything, I can still look back and I'll be like, and I can find the shit to laugh about. Of
course.
So it's not tragedy.
Yeah.
It was just like a tough spot, but everyone goes through tough spots.
Yeah. They're multiple. It's all a lot of tough spots. I don't know. Tough spots are needed though, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Which is why it's bad when people don't go out and find women or stay in the room all day or have any social skills because you don't get any of those tough points in life.
Right.
And those are the things that make you change, and that's what's needed, right?
Seriously, every lesson that I've learned in my life, I have done it the hard way.
Of course.
People have told me, hey, don't do this, this is what's going to happen. Of course, you don't listen to them.
Always the hard way.
I always have to learn it the hard way. You know what I mean? You can tell me the stove's hot, but goddamn it, I got to touch it before I know. You know what I mean?
No, really though. And that's how it is. When people don't take opportunities to learn, it's scary.
Seriously. And I don't know. I try to. One of the things that my dad also was like really into is like, bro, you do not have to make a mistake to learn from it. You know what I mean? Look at the people around you.
Yeah.
The company you keep is like the quality of the life that you will find.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you hang out with 5 drug addicts, you'll be the 6th one. You hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the people you keep that matters. But he'd always be like, talk to them about those situations that you're in and listen to what they have to say. Because if they've gone through it before, you can learn the values of their mistakes without making those mistakes yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's something that, people just don't do. I'm a big believer that you like learn everything or learn something new every day, and if you didn't learn something new, you just weren't paying attention hard enough.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because there's always something new to learn.
Oh,
yeah.
always, just a little fact or, something about a person, whatever. There's always something new to learn. But, being able to gain that knowledge without actually making the mistake yourself is something that I think is just so obvious to do, but nobody's doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm guilty of it myself. You know what I mean? But, like, it's something that I try to strive more for.
There you go. That's fair. I don't know. I like to live that way, too. I don't know. A lot of people are just asleep.
Seriously.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
Just asleep and not awake.
Right.
I don't know in what regard they're awake to, but
not quite like woke, though.
not woke, not woke, but just I don't know the right word to explain it.
Right. What is it? Ignorant.
Ignorant.
They're ignorant to the world around them. You know what I mean? They just think that it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
When the reality is that it's not.
Yeah.
The world's a mean place. Sorry.
Very, very mean.
Right.
And that's just how it has. That's all it is, right?
Right.
It can't be any different. Never will be any different. You just got to get used to it.
Right. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, what was that Rocky quote? It's like, life will like beat you or bring you to your knees and it'll keep you there if you let it. You know what I mean? But it's just the way that you find out how to overcome all that shit.
Yes.
That's the part that matters.
Is that part. I don't know. On top of that, I think people also just kind of let life happen. Like they don't control it at all.
Right.
Like they just kind of going through the punches, but like life is taking them.
Right. They're just like on the lazy river, just floating
completely. And they're okay with it. I think. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But they just seem okay with it, which is crazy to me.
And that is such a scary way to live.
It's
because
scary.
You're going to, they're going to snap back into it before they know it. They're 45 years old.
And have done nothing.
Yeah. And then like, what now? I'm not saying it's impossible for a 45-year-old to change their life, but it's a lot easier to do it when you're 20.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a lot easier.
Right.
Especially nowadays, yeah. Because I think they say before 25, or I forgot what it is, but there's some age that, like, once you're there, it's very hard to change past that. And it's 25 or 30.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because they say, like, peak physical fitness in a man you hit at 30.
Which is crazy.
Right.
I would think it'd be a lot earlier.
Yeah. They say
30?
Peak mental abilities, like 25, because that's when the brain, like, fully is done developing. Yeah. But they say the peak physical condition that you can ever be in is going to be your 30s, or your 30th. And so everything after that, you just slowly deteriorate.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
It's like the build up to that and then downhill.
Right, just slowly just chipping it away. You get a little weaker, you get a little more fragile, you get a little slower.
That's just how it goes, I guess. Because, like, back in the day, humans only lived till 30.
Right.
Like, that was the cap.
Right.
Which is kind of funny that's I don't know, that's the highest peak, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're dying at 30, but yeah.
Yeah, thank God for modern medicine.
Thank God. Like, for years and years, it was just not. And then the last 200 years, everything changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, life was the same, and then now it's not.
Yeah, no, it's insane how fast everything has developed. Like, my great-grandparents on my father's side, they went from horse and carriage, like horse and buggy,
right,
to the moon landing.
That's a lot.
Like, there's no bigger technological jump that we can see like that. You know, the only other, like, technological jump like that is going from, like, the internet to, like I don't know, like Zuckerberg's freaking VR reality bullshit. You know what I mean? Or, like, living on a whole different planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That technological jump that they saw in such a short amount of time, it's
unreal.
It's seriously crazy.
I can only imagine living through that, right? Just so many things.
It literally goes from, like, little house on the prairie, and then it's like, oh man, there's people on the moon.
Yeah. Just like some light.
Right.
Yeah.
In less than, like, what is it? Yeah, because they were 1900s to 69 is when they landed on the moon. It takes 70 years.
It's just crazy how it happened now, right? Because, like, all of humanity, nothing really changed. It was always the same,
right?
Until then. Like 1900s, that's when things really started progressing.
Yeah, no.
Like miniature progression, right? Obviously, they made guns, they made boats, right? Slowly, but nothing like now.
Yeah. As soon as, like, the internet got involved in everything, just exponential growth.
Yeah.
Exponential growth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the technology that we keep in our pocket that we use to mindlessly scroll through Instagram and TikTok is more powerful than the computer that put the space shuttle on the moon.
Which is mind-blowing.
You know?
Yeah.
But then everyone just sits here and abuses that technology. You know what I mean? Imagine someone that was actually, like, wise, and you gave them the ability to find any piece of information that has ever graced this planet instantly. You know what I mean? Imagine how much good that could do for people.
So much.
You know, and instead we sit here to, scroll through TikTok all day or fucking...
But at the same time, I think it comes down to greed too, right?
Seriously.
Because people who create these things are intentionally doing that, right? They know humanity. They know the dopamine hit you get from scrolling, right? They know how much time they spend on the phones. The goal is to keep you on your phone,
right?
And so it's like, are they really doing anything good, right? Like, I mean, the technology they're creating is good, but we all know it's with malicious intent. There's no. That's all they have in mind is malicious intent,
right?
Which is sad. But
they're basically like giving the toddler the loaded gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know that something bad's going to come from it.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know. It's okay though. That would be, I will be wild just because it is. I've heard that one before. That the phones are better than the computers on the moon.
Right.
Which is dope.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about. We'll be on Mars, hopefully in our lifetime.
You know, I think we will, but unless you and I become those multimillionaires,
we won't be there.
Yeah,
but they'll be there. Yeah.
We are stuck.
We'll be able to experience them going.
Yeah.
We won't be there.
Yeah, they're gonna go to the moon, and then all of Earth's gonna turn into like District 9,
which will be crazy.
You know what I mean?
And one day that's like gonna be a reality.
I know.
You know
dude.
what I mean?
The world's gonna turn into a slum. Like literally, the planet Earth is going to be the ghetto, the slums.
Which,
you know what I mean?
That would be so wild.
All the rich, gated, high-class communities, they're not going to be on the same planet anymore.
Different. They can't even grace the same ground we're on.
Right.
Because we're just scum. Scum of Earth.
Right. It would be like, oh, no, you don't got money? Sorry.
You're not coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy Earth. We destroyed it, but, you know.
We'll see how long humanity lasts. How long do you think they will?
Humanity?
Yeah.
Shit, dude. With, like, AI coming nowadays, I seriously see us being a Terminator future. You know
it's
what I'm saying?
scary, dog.
Like,
it's scary.
Everyone's like, oh, zombie apocalypse, oh, mass world war, oh, like meteor impact. You know, everyone had these wild theories of how humans were going to get erased.
Right.
It's going to be AI.
AI is a culprit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It like one of the scariest things is, and multiple people have said this, like the head dude at Microsoft that was like spearheading their AI development, he resigned a few like months ago, and he said like, I created something that is bigger than me. I created like a weapon. You know what I mean? Elon Musk has said it too. He's like, the greatest threat to humans is artificial intelligence.
Of course.
You know, all it takes is one rogue AI to become semi-conscious, or at least or it doesn't even have to be conscious, but be malicious. You know what I mean? And all it has to do is get a hold of a couple of missile silos. Yeah. And then it's going to be volleyball across the Atlantic. With
Game
nukes.
over.
You know
Game
what I mean?
over. Yeah. That's all it is. I don't know. We'll see. Just because humans there's no competition. It's only humans on this planet, right? So when we create competition, it's smarter than us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we're creating things that are smarter than us, that's where it gets scary for sure.
Right. And you know, how long does it take before they, get bodies now?
Which,
like, have you ever played any of the Fallout games? So, like synths, synthetics,
right,
all that stuff?
I could see that being
like
a real
thing. That could be a very real possibility.
Right.
If they can think like humans and talk and act like humans, and if they look like humans, how the hell are you going to tell the difference?
Yeah, it's yikes.
You know?
They're making a Fallout TV show. Comes out in April.
Really? Oh, man. See, I really love the Fallout series.
I love Fallout.
Like Bethesda.
My favorite game of all time, actually.
No, Bethesda is a fantastic developer. But you're a Fallout person?
I love it.
I do love the Fallout series, like New Vegas, one of my favorites, but like
ones.
I love the Elder Scroll series.
Yeah.
Like I've been replaying Skyrim. That's kind of like one of my comfort games.
Right. Skyrim is, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. And it's such a blast. It's so incredible like what they were able to do at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Skyrim released on like the Xbox 360, or I think even the original Xbox.
It was one of the first big RPGs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Skyrim was.
Yeah, and it's incredible how much that, I mean, just how vast of a game that is.
Oh, yeah.
I've played probably over 200, 300 hours of Skyrim, and I still am doing like missions and
Different
quests
things.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, I didn't know this was in the game. This is cool.
Yeah.
You know
I like Skyrim a lot. Elder Scrolls is mainly online stuff, right? The other Elder Scrolls games.
So it went all the way up through Elder Scrolls 5, which was Skyrim. I never played the original 2, but I played Oblivion, which was 3, Morrowind, which was... Actually, no, I got that backwards. Morrowind was 3, Oblivion was 4, Skyrim was 5.
Okay.
But then they did Elder Scrolls Online, and I tried it, and it didn't hit the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But apparently they're going to make an Elder Scrolls 7 that will be more similar to those original games, just kind of a single-player open-world RPG.
That's dope. So the ones leading up to Skyrim were also open world?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was like... So the original Fallout games, like Fallout 1 and 2, there was like a point-and-click adventure. So that's what those ones were like, too.
Right.
But then when the third one came out, Morrowind, then it switched to like that first-person action RPG.
Type,
Yeah, kind of same with like Fallout. Wait, which one came first, New Vegas or 3? Fallout 3.
I think 3 did. No, New Vegas did.
Yeah,
I think.
Because I think New Vegas was their like first-person shooter one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And seriously, quality game.
Beautiful game. We love New Vegas, yeah. They made something else lately. Oblivion did. I forget which game it was. The Outer Worlds. You ever played that?
Yeah, actually.
That was a good game, huh?
Yeah, no, I was playing that freshman year. I never finished it, but it was a really cool story.
It was cool.
It was just
bright, colorful.
Yeah, just space cowboys.
Which is dope.
You know,
I love
which is
that.
such a dope concept.
Bethesda made a new Starfield game. I don't know if you heard about it. I haven't played it, but it's all in space, open world.
Yeah, I've heard about that. See, but I have really just like my video game playing has gone down so much, especially ever since I got to college.
It's hard to play in college. It really is.
Seriously,
there's always something going on.
It's probably Outer Worlds was the last new game that I played, minus the Call of Duties. But I don't really consider those new games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's just a reskin, different maps type bullshit.
You can hop on for an hour and
Right, but no, nowadays it's just like I go back to like my comfort games. Like I played New Vegas last year. I'm playing Skyrim now, but like ultimate comfort game, I'll just go back and replay the Halo Reach campaign.
There you go.
I have
Halo campaigns are good too.
Oh, dude, Halo's my favorite game series of all
I love
time.
Halo, yeah.
It's the only reason that I'll be an Xbox person for life.
There you go.
As shitty as the decisions that Microsoft makes,
Halo.
that they
They have
do,
Halo.
but they have Halo, so I'll
Right.
just rock with them.
Yeah, Halo's good. I'm trying to think because like they back on the TV show of it. Did you watch the Halo TV show?
I did not, but I have heard about it, and it's like, I understand that for a TV show, Master Chief has to kind of have a face, but that pisses me off. Master Chief does not have a face. He is the faceless knight that protects humanity.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You can't give him a face.
No,
yeah.
because no matter whatever actor they put in that suit, it's not what I imagined.
Right.
Ever. Spartan 117 to look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just don't know what he looks like, and that's just part of the lore.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough, and I hope they don't do that with Fallout, because apparently I heard something about Fallout with Vault-Tec's going to be a big player.
Right.
So I think it's going to be like before the nuke, and then the nuke happens, which would be dope.
Right.
But I hope they don't butcher it.
Yeah, no, it's it's a very like not sketchy, but like gamble, a very dangerous gamble.
Right.
Because like The Last of Us,
beautiful,
fantastic, TV show.
absolute beauty of a show. But
like Halo, you know, I've heard some mixed reviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so hit miss because there's such a nostalgia that people hold on to these things.
Yeah, you got to be careful with
and
it.
if you don't hit it right on the head, you are going to piss off lifelong fans.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah. So, especially with like Fallout or Halo, right? Halo, come on, I was so mad about that.
Yeah, no, like there's so much nostalgia involved with that. Like Halo Reach is my favorite game of all time because I specifically remember I would wake up in middle school, like 2 hours before I had to go to school. I'd wake my brother up and we would just sit there and play custom games.
There you
Halo
go.
Reach custom games.
That's so dope. Yeah.
For 2 hours before school.
Right.
But you know, all those like little memories and the campaigns. You know what I mean? Halo Reach wasn't the first Halo I played. Halo 3 was the first Halo I played. And then I went back and did all of them. But out of all of them, dude, I've put hours. That's probably the only game that I've clocked over 1,000 hours in.
Is Halo.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Halo, the original Halo is my favorite campaign. I love the...
And it's such a beautiful, like, it's a great story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what really attracts me to that type of stuff. It's
Right.
like the quality story you can tell.
I played it on the OG Xbox before the 360.
Oh, wow.
And I'd wake up 2 hours before school to play that campaign.
Yep.
So good.
It's so good.
So good. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, no, in the Halo Reach campaign, dude, I would, if they would make a movie about that or a TV show, I would definitely watch it. But
Right.
oh man, I would be so irked if they messed that up because that is my favorite story.
You gotta be careful with that
Like
kind of stuff.
noble team, you know what I mean? They're the whole reason that Master Chief made it off of Reach and was able to save humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just such a cool story.
It is. It's a good one. I'm trying to think what else because they made the Mario movie. Wholesome kids, right?
Yeah.
It was good. I thought it was cool.
Right.
They didn't really mess up. It's hard to mess up Mario, but
Right.
any other game with like I don't know, more depth.
Right. I'm trying to think if I can like think of any other because the first one that comes to my head is like The Last of Us.
Did you watch FNAF?
You know, I really wanted to, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, but it could have been better.
Right. See, and that one is the nostalgia thing because that game fucking terrified me
right?
as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And seeing those things like actually move.
It was really cool.
You know what I mean?
Dope. It wasn't that scary though.
See, and that's what I've heard. It was more like I don't know, like a PG-13 horror movie.
Which FNAF scared me as a kid too, right?
Seriously.
So like it could easily be a scary movie.
Right.
But I don't know. It was good. It was still cool to see the animatronics in real life. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's was cool. That's about the only ones I think they made. Right? There's not many more video game movies. Or...
Yeah, I'm sitting over here trying to rack my brain. I'm not. Not a movie, but have you ever played Death Race?
No.
Or not Death Race? Is that it? No, Twisted Metal. Sorry, Twisted Metal has like Needles Cane and stuff like that. Sweet Tooth. So it was like a post-apocalyptic racing game,
Right.
Where they would just like ride around in cars and like shoot the shit out of each other. And they did a TV show about that I watched with my dad, and that was actually like really good, especially if you like the Twisted Metal series.
Right.
It was phenomenal.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a great cast too. What is it? The Falcon from the Avengers. That actor. He was like the main character.
I forgot his name, but yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he was the main character.
Right.
And just they killed it.
Yeah.
They killed it. I just love how they did Needles Canes. You know, Sweet Tooth is what he is. He was like his whole thing was like the psycho clown killer. So he had like a clown mask and his head was on fire. Like it just stayed on fire.
Yeah.
And he would go around in like an ice cream truck. That shit had like miniguns and shit mounted up to it. It was sick.
Dope. That's dope. Yeah.
It's just like total male fantasy, but
Right.
it's cool. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
It's way cool.
Right. At least they did good on it.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah,
Quality show.
Video games, everything, entertainment. I think it's all just oversaturated now because there's so much of it.
Right.
Which is probably why it's so bad. I don't know.
Right.
People are just throwing money at random projects to get something off the ground. Yeah.
And I feel like it gets cheaper and cheaper. You know what I mean? Like the effort that they put in just lowers, and they just try to maximize profit. You know, minimum effort, max profit. Which is
why did you watch Oppenheimer?
I did. Phenomenal movie.
Which made me happy that they still care somewhat about cinema in some way, because that movie was so good.
Shout out Christopher Nolan for that.
Shot on film.
Yeah.
And zero CGI. OG. Yeah.
That is one thing that is so impressive to me about Christopher Nolan. Because all those Batman movies that he did, all that wild shit like in The Dark Knight Returns or The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
The one with Heath Ledger's Joker. Remember that like tunnel scene?
Yeah.
With like the truck and the RPG and he just like, shot it. That was all practical effects.
Right.
You know?
Which is dope.
You know, even that car that they had, the Tumbler, his like Batmobile or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a real life vehicle that they built.
And it worked.
Drove. Yeah.
Practical effects are dope, and it's cool that he keeps them alive, right? Especially in those kinds of movies where there's potential for huge CGI.
Right.
Especially in like a Batman movie.
Right. Just to save money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he still like has the passion. You know, he's like, screw the profit.
Yeah.
He's just like, he wants to make a dope movie, but as a side effect of that, he makes a dope movie and then makes a bunch of profit because it's a dope movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is good, yeah. I guess it's a good balance.
I know. People are kind of forgetting that like effort gets results.
It does. I mean? It really does.
Minimum effort means minimum results.
Yeah.
Maximum effort, maximum results.
Like effort is everything.
Yeah.
Hard work is where it has to be.
Yeah. The only thing like that I truly think that a person can give in this life is effort and time.
Yeah.
Because those are the only things we can never get back.
Right.
We can always get back more money. We can always get back more material things, whatever.
Yeah.
But our time is finite, and the effort that we give just takes away from our body.
Right.
You know what I mean? And those are things that we can't get back.
I like that analogy. Effort and time.
Effort and time is the only things that we can actually give people.
Yeah. Effort and time. The two biggest things too, right?
Seriously.
Time's everything.
Yeah, time is money. Like,
time is money.
It's so crazy to think about, but we're all on like a stopwatch right now.
It's crazy.
Or on a timer. And we have no idea. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be 40 years from now. But we're all on that timer that once it hits zero, it's over. It's done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I hope you enjoyed your ride.
Yeah, really, though. And you never know when it happens. Sometimes you're 40, sometimes you're 20, sometimes you're 97. Right. It is something. And with that, we'll see what happens with the. Have you heard of Elon Musk's Neuralink thing?
Yes.
He wants to implant a chip into your brain and.
That is so.
Make you into the computer.
I know. I seriously think that it's going to turn into a world where it's like, it is a digital world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there will be no reality anymore.
Like, we just live digitally.
Exactly.
Which is awful.
When it's such a scary thing to think about it. But on the other side, it's also something you can be, like, prepared for. Because, like, I'll be, the age-old question down here in college. It's always like, oh, what's your major? What's your name? What's your major? Whatever.
Biggest thing, yeah.
But the people that tell me cybersecurity, I'm like, you're the smartest ones in the room.
Right?
Because you have job security.
Job security, for sure.
Like, it's so crazy to think about, but eventually those people, the cybersecurity people, are going to be the policemen of the world.
Which will be wild.
There's no longer going to be physical cops. Yeah. Those are the guys that are going to be like keeping justice and order and all that shit.
Yeah. That's fair. Interesting way to look at it, right? Because one day we'll all be digital.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be kind of like Ready Player One.
Right.
It'd be dope, though.
Right. It'll be like there's no physical body anymore. You just upload your conscience.
And you just exist consciously, which would be wild, too.
Right.
Because then imagine everything you can having the power of Google in your mind.
Right.
Anything you want to know, you already know. Right. Which would be crazy.
That would put you on par with the smartest people that have ever existed ever on this planet.
Ever.
Even
more.
But then circling back to what we said earlier, how often are they actually going to use that technology to do that? Yeah. Before we know it, there's going to be Instagram in the Neuralink, so now they can just look in front of them and scroll through Instagram. You know what I mean? They don't even have to get a phone.
Yeah. Because it'll always be greed and money and power.
Right.
The bane of humanity, which is fine, but is what it is. What do you think? Greed, money, and power.
Biggest evils?
Yeah.
No, free will.
Free will.
So humans are blessed with this thing, free will. At any given moment, we can do anything that we want, good or bad.
Yeah.
And that's what terrifies me. You know what I mean? Because you and I have I do not believe, like, everyone's like, oh, it's a civilized world. You can't do that. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only thing that is stopping me from doing whatever I want is my own free will. You know what I mean? I could just, if I wanted to, go outside this room right now and punch the first dude that I see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can 100% do that. Right. Of course, there's going to be some repercussions for that action, but
you could do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what's scary to me.
It like, can happen. Yeah.
It's free will, and the people that can't control that free will, because, you know, I'm not going to go outside and just punch a random dude, or I'm not going to go drunk drive or assault a woman or whatever. You know what I mean? But the people that do and think that it's like, they're like, oh yeah, I can do this. That's terrifying.
That's scary.
You know?
Right.
But, and then the money, the greed and all that, that's like a side effect of it, in my opinion. And it's easy to like point those out, but the way I see it, it's like free will is the common denominator. Because at any point that an evil thing has happened in humans' history, the person who perpetrated it could have just decided not to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they still went through with it.
They still went through and did it. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Right.
Just how free will is, it's a big thing.
But it's also something that's so beautiful about being a human. Because at the same time, we can go be that like lover, that, you know, that good person, the one that, you know, you don't have to go outside and, you know, donate yourself, you know, community service or whatever. But there's people that do.
Right.
You know, and that's, it's a very scary coin, but there are two sides to it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? There's like the light side and the dark side.
Of course.
Type shit on some Star Wars.
It really is. It's on some Star Wars. That's what it is. Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely the biggest parallels, I think, in everything is good versus evil. Yeah. Which is how it goes, right? Just how life is. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Did you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I did. Phenomenal show. Good. Yeah, no, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. So, you know, on Disney Plus, it says like Star Wars in chronological order. Yeah. And it has all the movies and all the TV shows and all that. Right. Yeah, I've done that like 3 times.
There you go.
Like in order, you know, watch 2 movies, watch an entire TV series, then a couple of movies, then an entire TV series. Right. You know what I mean?
I need to do that. I haven't finished the Clone Wars yet. I've been trying to chip away at it because they're only like 20 minutes long, whatever. Right. Just so much content.
It is so phenomenal.
It's good though. It's good content. But
I think George Lucas is like the greatest storyteller of all time. Because it is so crazy that you go and watch all that stuff. It's all connected. Right. Like shit that they talk about in like episode 3, like Revenge of the Sith, like they'll talk about that in the Clone Wars. Right. You know what I mean? And it sets it up perfectly. Because, you know, because you can just go and watch the 3rd movie and it'll make sense. But if you watch the Clone Wars before that, then you're like, man, Anakin was doing this. Like, this is what he was doing. You know? Yeah. Like, it's so insane. And just the continuity. I think that's something that's so impressive. Right. It's just being able to keep a story going and tie everything in and make it make sense. And then just being able to keep doing that. Right. You know what I mean? Like, how much money has well, I guess it's not George Lucas anymore because he sold it to Disney. Yeah. But
for $1 billion.
Yeah, right.
Or more, but yeah.
But, like, how much money are they able to do that? Because, like, Mandalorian, I'm sure that wasn't a George Lucas idea. Right. It was, you know what I mean?
Disney Plus.
They, you know, they thought of it, but then just approached him with the idea, and he's like, oh, yeah, I can make that work, and then just straight up, you know, gives him the story.
Which is dope.
Right. Yeah. No. But, and it's also, did you know this? Like, the original Star Wars, Episode 4 was, Episode 4, A New Hope, that was a bedtime story that George Lucas told his kids.
Interesting.
Like, that's how it started.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That he told his children that as a bedtime story.
Like what? Luke's story? Or?
Yeah. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi finds him, Luke goes and destroys the Death Star, you know what I mean? But that, like, spawned off everything else. You know what I mean? But it was simply a bedtime story to him.
Which is crazy.
And then he turned it into the multi-billion-dollar series that it is.
Which is why creativity is so beautiful. Because like that one, one little thing can multiply.
All it takes is one idea. Yep. You know?
Yep. I love Kenobi because, like, if you watch Revenge of the Sith, right? Yep. Anakin's like, I hate you. And then Episode 4, they have their light little battle. Right. And he just dies. That's it. Right. Like, nothing huge. He just dies. Right. But then in Obi-Wan Kenobi, you can feel Anakin's hate for him, right? Right. You know that village scene when he's walking down, just choking random people, right, and just trying to find him. Oh, so beautiful.
See, and that scene at the end when they're having that lightsaber battle, and then that is so powerful. It's like, you did not kill Anakin, right? I did. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And
it's
then just like the mask is all half. Ooh.
Yep. It's like, you know, there's that, and going back to that good versus evil, it's like, no, the Obi-Wan, you didn't kill Anakin. The evil inside Anakin killed Anakin.
Right. And now he's. Yeah, that's something. I don't know. There were some things I didn't like about it, but like the filler, I think Obi-Wan's power could have been more progressively, right? But yeah, I only had 6 episodes, which is fine. But
yeah, no.
that end battle was beautiful.
Oh, seriously. And
love
then
that.
when he finally gets like full control of the Force again, that was so sad to see at the beginning. And it was like
watching him get beat and just absolutely stomped on.
Right, and he lost his like touch with the Force.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because he was so shattered.
Right, he was just out of it.
But it was cool to see him shattered, right? To see how much it actually affected him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know, because I mean, not only like an apprentice or a Padawan, but like a friend. You know,
yeah, brother.
Yeah,
completely dead. Yeah,
you know, that's gotta be tough.
Exactly, which is why it's cool. I just liked it because my cousin just got off his mission,
right?
And he hasn't watched it yet,
right?
Because it came out when he was there.
Okay,
so we were talking about it yesterday, and yeah. So
yeah, he for sure needs to. Watch that.
He's a huge Star Wars fan, so he needs to. He has all the. He's already had it spoiled, but
right.
He needs to watch it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. I like those kinds of shows, right? The more humanity themed, right? Like obviously, there's big spectacles and lightsaber battles and the Force and all that, but like at the end of the day, it's humans, right?
Yeah, the human experience, how they deal with the problems at hand,
and the emotions and everything they got,
right?
Which is cool.
I don't know. I feel like that's like very much a common theme across all great TV shows.
Always is.
You know what I mean? Like Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's cool that it's a cool idea, chemistry teacher making meth, but it's like the dude got cancer and he was worried about his family. You know what I mean? So he needed to make money in the fastest way possible.
And he made meth.
as a chemistry professor, he knew how to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? All he needed was Jesse.
And he got Jesse, and then they did it.
Then the human experience, you know, and just phenomenal show.
Breaking Bad. So good.
Same with like Yellowstone, if you ever watched that.
I watched Yellowstone.
Oh, that's a great one. My
I've heard
mom
I need to
got me
watch
into
it.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Violent show though.
Is it?
Like holy shit, dude. 3 people get shot in the first episode.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. Yellowstone.
Yeah, no, it's a violent show, especially all the spin-offs that they did. Like I heard there's like 1989 and like 1889 or 87, something like that.
Just like the family before.
Yeah. Right. That like founded the ranch, and that shit's like brutal, especially like I said, 1887, 1889, one of those. But like they'll have huge battles on the plains between the cowboys and the Indians, and it was just fucking violent.
Yeah.
Like just disgusting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
You know, that's one that I never did. You know, but to be fair, the hype of that was around, I think, a little bit before my time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I remember Game of Thrones being talked about when I was still like leaving middle school, going into high school.
Yeah.
And at that point, I didn't really care.
Right.
You know, I can proudly say that I am one of the very few people that have never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
And probably never will.
It probably never will.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, never got on that hype.
Love it. One of my favorite shows of all time. It's a beautiful show.
Right.
Also beautiful storytelling.
Right.
That's like the common denominator, right? It's the storytelling aspect. Yeah. Breaking Bad. Did you watch El Camino?
I did. Such a beautiful way to wrap up Jesse's story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was good.
Better Call Saul as well.
I haven't watched Better Call Saul.
That one's a good one. Like, you know, when, what is it? When Saul first meets Jesse and Walter, and like they were like kidnapping him, had the grave in front of him, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, are you with like, or I can't remember the name that he said, but like with the cartel, you know, it's like, oh, are you with those guys? I don't know anything about that. They explained that
in Better Call Saul.
Yeah, because it like it like ends with that, like where they meet, you know what I mean? But it explains the whole thing.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Is it the same actor?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I'm trying to remember. I know, what is his name? Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, it is Bob Odenkirk still.
Isn't Gus Fring in there? Or Gus, the chicken guy. Forgot his name. I know his first name was Gus.
No, that was definitely a little later in the like Breaking Bad storyline.
Okay.
Because like Better Call Saul is everything that leads him up to that point of meeting Walter.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like the rest of Saul's story is like seen throughout Breaking Bad.
Nice.
You know.
That's still cool though. Still sets it up. We love prequels.
It's seriously, it's just such great storytelling.
Yeah.
Such great storytelling.
Yep. Well, Doug, you want to keep going or you want to wrap it up? It's been about an hour. It's up to you.
Ah, shit. How long are your episodes usually?
Depends on the day, hour and a half, too. Depends when it is.
Oh, shit, dude. I'm having a great time. I will sit here and talk all day.
Good. What else do you want to talk about?
Oh, shit. That's the question, though. It's like, what about school? How's school been treating you?
Pretty good. Ready for it this semester to be over.
Right.
I think I've taken too many responsibilities this semester.
Right.
With YouTube, the jobs, historian.
Right.
School, right, everything. But pretty good. How about you?
Oh, you know, I can't complain other than, like I said, chemistry's been dogging me.
Right.
But No, it's been nothing but the up and ups. You know,
Which is good.
love my involvement with Alpha Phi, love my involvement with Sigma Chi. Friends have been doing phenomenal this year.
Which is good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's easy to do well when the boys do well.
Right.
You know?
When everyone's eating, we all eat. Yeah.
Exactly, bro. Like, what's good? What is it? J. Cole said that. It's like, what's good first class if my homies can't sit?
Exactly.
You know
it's real, though. It's real.
You know, it's either like first class with the boys or the slums with the boys.
Come on.
You know?
As long as you got the boys, you're chilling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to have that team.
Right. I feel like Sigma Chi Brothers has been up this year.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
sure.
I feel like we've been killing it. Shout out to the REC. I feel like this is going into my third year. After the end of the semester, it'll be about 2.5 years I've spent here at SUU. And I rushed Sigma Chi my freshman year, first semester, so I've been in that the entire time.
Yeah.
And in all my experience, no shade on previous ECs, because I love all of them dearly, but this EC is the best one that I've seen.
We appreciate that. Yeah.
Like quality dudes. You know, you guys are killing it. And it also, they are my pledge class that is running.
Yeah,
at
everything.
Jabil.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of like biasy and a little pride because like when we got initiated, it's like, oh, the Gamma Eta takeover. Like it's gonna happen.
Slowly infiltrating. Yeah.
And then the Gamma Eta takeover happened.
Right.
You know
And now
what I
they're
mean?
all up there.
Now we running this shit.
They really are. Really are. No, that's good. I like from what I've only been in for like not even a full year yet, right? So I've only seen one previous.
Right.
I thought they were okay for that month I saw them, but
Right.
I think we're doing good this year, which is good.
Yeah, no, chapter culture is at an all-time high.
Which is beautiful.
You know, we haven't even hit that like mid-semester slump yet.
Which is good.
You know, we're almost done with the semester.
Which is dope.
You know, and it always, as long as we do it semesters at a time, because everyone thinks of like a year-long plan, and that's all fine and good, but you got to take like, you know, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is we got to take it semesters at a time and not years at a time, and we have killed this semester. We're going to finish the semester. We're going to go home. We're going to have that month-long Christmas break. People are going to be excited to be back.
Recharge and then come back and kill it
it's
again.
just the energy's back,
Right.
and then we just keep doing what we're doing. You know, like, and I feel like we've been noticed on campus for that. You know what I mean?
A lot more, I think.
Yeah.
Like I think there's been a lot more involvement outside of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now that we have like people like Trent and, you know, Jaren's been in, but like just the outside faces and like the fact that we are doing so well. We're doing, you know, our tailgates and we're making public appearances. I mean, the parties are, you know, very fun and safe. You know what I'm saying?
Which is good.
And we're just straight up killing it.
In every aspect,
You know?
which is beautiful.
Yeah, no, I've been asked more on campus about it every time I wear letters or on Monday when we have to wear a pin. People ask me about, you know, why are you dressed nice? What are you wearing? You know what I mean? But no, I think we can seriously thank all of our EC for that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think you'll run for anything next year?
Man, I don't know if I even want to say this because it might set me up for something I don't actually do. But I was told that I would not be a bad look to run for consul.
There you go. You wouldn't be a bad look at all.
You know, and for everyone listening who doesn't know, consul means president, like president of the fraternity.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always told myself it's like that's like a full-time job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a 40-hour work week on top of your
School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not impossible because I know people that are doing. I mean, our president's doing it and he's killing it.
He is. He's killing it.
But it's like, man. But what people also don't think of is like those are the guys that have to deal with all the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot that happens that all of chapter doesn't, you know, that it's not full chapter business. You know what I mean? It could be like an event between one brother or an event that happened outside or like at a different area or whatever. You know what I mean? But it sucks to be that guy that has to deal with it.
Be a bad guy sometimes. Yeah.
Right. And especially, you know, I feel especially bad for like Jacob, you know, Procon.
Right.
And then like Max, you know, risk manager, and then like J-board and all that. Because, you know, the three values, you know, friendship, justice, and learning. It's really easy to have a lot of friendship and then that makes justice, you know, like kind of slip away. You know what I mean? But they're being this like steel fist, the actual guardians of justice, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, the friendship is still all there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more accountability.
Which is good.
You know, the justice is right up there with the friendship, which is as it should be.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has to be a balance.
Yeah.
You know, because if it was all friends, no justice or learning,
It wouldn't.
you know, we'd just be sitting here dicking off the whole
Right. Oh yeah. Which is fair. I don't know. You could run it. I don't know who else would. So
See, and
you might have to.
right? But it's like after this EC, after this EC, I feel like it's like trying to follow up like I don't know, like the weekend at the talent show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just screw whoever follows that guy up because you know you're not gonna kill it as
Right.
much. You know what I mean?
Which
is one thing that makes me really nervous. You know, but if I do decide to do it, I'll have a lot of work to do. Like go to KTLW, do all those leadership stuff. Actually become applicable for the position or at least experienced enough to take the position.
Yeah.
Because if I do it, I want to do it. Full effort. Make it just as good or better than it was this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a very high bar.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I tell you I got an internship with HQ.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I have Herman's position now.
No way.
I got accepted 2 days ago.
That's fire, dude.
And Herman,
congratulations.
Thank you. Herman now has a social media position. So I have graphic design, he has social media.
Heck yeah, dude.
So they're going to send me to KTLW for free.
Hey, there you go.
Which is dope.
Nice little trip up. Is
Ohio.
it in Canada?
No,
it's in
that's
Ohio.
for Grand Chapter.
Yeah,
Ohio,
Grand Chapter.
Which I'm excited for.
Yeah, that'll be sick. I mean, but what the fuck is there to do in Ohio?
I don't know. I'm excited to meet other SIGs.
Yes,
and
100%.
hang out with them and
the networking,
which is dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Herman talks about it all the time. Just the amount of like people that he knows, and the opportunities that he's gained just through those friendships and that knowing somebody. I mean,
from all over the world. Yeah,
seriously,
the country, but yeah,
the network is the net worth. You know what I'm saying?
It really is. It really is. It's huge.
And he's got that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I'm excited for. I can't wait for that.
No, I think you'll kill it.
Thank
seriously,
you.
And especially with already your like swagger and your social media presence and your skills, that I think that'll just like improve upon them tenfold.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Mainly because I'll graduate in May, right?
Right.
And so I felt like I didn't get the 4 years of Sigma Chi, right? I only got the 2 years.
Right.
2.5, 1.5. So I needed to do something more like, okay, I need to get everything I can. So I applied for that. And I'm excited for it.
Right. Exactly as they told me when I was rushing, I guarantee you they told you.
Of course,
it's like
the biggest one.
Everything that you put into Sigma Chi is what you get out of it.
Right.
So the more you put in, the more you get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's awesome. Just like give it your all. You may lose. I saw this quote the other day too. It's like give it your all in everything. Fuck everything else. It's like you're gonna lose friendships, jobs, girlfriends, wives. You may even lose your mind. But if you have a goal, fucking give it all your effort.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You'll get there.
100%.
I like
Efforts
that.
get results.
It's the truth.
Effort
Effort gets results for sure. I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, you should run for that. You should run for consul.
No, I think it would be a good idea, but it's also like, I don't know, a lot of responsibility. There's a lot I got to think about and like take in before I like actually seriously consider it. You know what I mean? But I've been told that I wouldn't be a bad candidate.
You wouldn't, because I don't know who else would do it.
Right, and that's another scary thing is like, someone's got to step up, and especially being this is so terrifying to say, as one of the guys that is considered one of the older members of chapter now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never considered myself, like I'd never thought that I would be that. You know, like when I rushed, it was like looking at Snacks, Javi, Carter, Herman.
The OGs. I mean? Yeah.
Those were like the old guys. Those were the pillars of chapter. When they said something in chapter, it had like some meaning.
Right.
And like some weight. And I never even considered this, but like that's us now. That's like my pledge class now.
Right. Gamma Eta.
And it's so crazy to think about. Like people ask me a question and I'm like, oh shit, I know the answer to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, yeah, I'm that guy now.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's such a crazy like thought to me, because without those old guys, when I was one of the newer members that, I wouldn't have been able to do all the stuff that I did. But now I have to kind of be that, that help, that helping hand, to these newer guys.
Right.
And, I'm so happy to do it, but it's such a trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That makes me think too, because I wonder what it'd be like if I would have joined, because I kind of like grew up before I joined.
Right.
And then I joined and like, I'm still growing, but
right.
I matured a lot.
Right.
Compared to 18 to 20, 22, you know what I mean?
100%.
But I wonder what my growth would have been if I would have joined when I was 18.
Right.
It would have been different, I think. Which would have been good, but I don't know. It would have been interesting to like grow up in Sigma Chi. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Grow up with those values. Grow up with the people around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I seriously can thank all that like growth tenfold because of those guys. Like, because for my freshman year from now, without Sigma Chi, I have no idea what these last 2.5 years would have looked like.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I cannot imagine my college experience without those guys.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm extremely thankful for every single one of them. And for anyone who is listening, you know, shout out you guys. Love you guys. But yeah, no, it's so crazy. And what's even scarier, it's like the cycle. You know what I mean? Because all those guys that we rushed this year, you know, one day they're going to be the old guys.
It's wild.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a leap of faith, you know, because we have to like leave the chapter within these guys' hands. You know, the fate of Kappa Iota Sigma Chi is up to these guys now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I have no problem with the guys that we have. I think they'll do a phenomenal job once it gets to that time. But I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird.
You know, time is such a trip.
Completely. And like the fact that, because like one day Snacks and all them were pledges, right?
Right.
And got rushed and now they're gone.
Yeah, now they're graduating.
It's just gone, yeah.
Living life.
Crazy. It's absolutely wild. I think he was in Mexico a little while ago.
Yeah, he's living there right now.
Just living in Mexico casually. We love that.
Yeah,
Only Snacks would do that.
Yeah, seriously, no. Fucking goddamn Snacks.
Only Snacks would live in Mexico.
Oh, man, I love Snacks. I could tell some stories about him, but probably shouldn't be on the podcast.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to think. Snacks is dope.
No,
That's that guy.
Seriously. Same with Ben, too.
I met Ben for this last couple weeks, whenever it was, Halloween around then. He was cool. He was cool.
Ben was in my pledge class.
Yep.
That was hard to see him go, but glad that he's doing well.
Where did he go? Did he drop out of school or did you graduate? Or?
No, I think he went back. I know he's a firefighter, but I'm not exactly sure where. I think he may be back in Reno.
Oh.
But yeah, he got on to like some fire service.
Nice.
And yeah, that's killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So always love to see the boys doing well.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Even if they're not here, you know, I just, you know, you pray on your homie's success.
And then when they do, you're like, oh, bet. That's dope.
Yep. When the homies succeed, you succeed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. That's a good philosophy. That's how it should be. Because once you eat, everyone else eats.
Right.
How it should be.
As it should be, 100%, you know. And just, you know, it makes no sense to me just to, like, bring down somebody for, like, their successes. You know what I mean? Like, jealousy is such, like, a poison.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because I've learned to very much be a very lackadaisical guy. I used to not be like that. I used to be, you know, the jealous type or the one that always cared too much. But now it's like, the more I let go, the less I worry about.
Which is beautiful.
You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
It's like, you know, relationships or past experiences or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just so much easier to be like, you know what? It's done.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which
like,
is good.
It can't affect me no more.
Which is... That's a beautiful, beautiful stage to hit.
Right. You know, it's like that Michael Phelps thing is, you know, Michael Phelps never looked over his shoulder. He wasn't worried about what the guys behind him were doing. He was just worried about what he was doing.
Right.
Same with that. You know, put that shit in your past and don't look back.
That's how it should be.
Right.
It's so hard for some people, though.
No, seriously. And it is something that is taking me a long time to learn. And I would honestly say it hasn't really come to fruition until this year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I had my dramas and my bullshit last year. And that was, you know, I dealt with it better, but still not. I feel like I would deal with it even more so better now. You know what I mean? But it's in the past. I dealt with it how I dealt with it. So I'm going to deal with the, you know.
The next one
It just gives me that knowledge and I'll deal with the next one differently.
Right. Lessons learned, and that's all it can be.
Right.
Just how it has to be, I guess. You got to learn. You got to learn. That's all it is.
Seriously. Like, yep. Always, the only mistake that you actually make is the mistake you make twice.
That's a good one. I like that one. Mistake you make twice is the only mistake, yeah.
Because everyone makes mistakes, you know. As long as you learn from it, it wasn't a mistake. It was a learning experience, you know what I mean?
That's all it is.
Right.
I like that. It's a good philosophy, good mentality. I don't know. It's attachment. I've been looking into Buddhism lately.
Okay.
Just because, like, Buddhism is very real.
Right.
Like it's real. They believe in God,
right?
But it's more like your physical body.
Right. It's like your connection between yourself and the like physical world around you.
Yeah.
You know.
And the big thing they stress is letting go of attachment, because attachment is suffering.
Right.
So when you don't have that and you let go of everything constantly, you're always letting go.
Right.
You achieve, I forgot what they call it, but like true.
Right.
A true internal state where you're actually okay.
Right. It's easier to elevate when you're not carrying weight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And beautiful practices. That's why I like it. Just because like everyone carries stuff on their back all day long.
100%. Right?
And so if you're actively letting go of it at all times, you're good.
Right.
Which is nice.
You know, just be like rain on a roof. Just let it slip right off.
That's how it should be. It's hard to get there, but I've been trying to.
But once you get there and you find that enlightenment, it's like
perfect.
You're you're a superhuman. You know what I mean?
Weight left up the shoulders, everything. Yeah.
Seriously, as long as you can't, or as long as the weight of the world can't affect you, you know what I mean? You can control the world.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, I don't know. Buddhism's cool. Meditation's cool. Philosophy's cool.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, I don't know, like, so they say, like, philosophy back in the day, it wasn't, like, they didn't have, like, religion the way that we had it. So there was, like, two separate things. Like, philosophy was religion, or philosophy and religion were two different things. You know what I mean? Because in today's day and age, like, philosophy is kind of, like, been shoved to the side as, like, a moral basis. You know, now people base their morals off the religion that they are associated with. You know what I mean? And that's all fine and good. But, like, back in the day, it was, like, two separate things. Like, your religion was just the deities. You know what I mean? You sacrificed and prayed to them or whatever, just so they didn't end up, like, burning your field down this year for your crops. You know what I mean? But then, like, but the morality, how they, like, live their day-to-day lives came more so from the philosophy. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? Diogenes, a Sinope. He was a, I'm trying to remember the name, because it's the exact opposite of Stoicism. Which, Marxism, that's freaking, that's Russian.
Yeah, that's communism.
Oh, what is that? Not nihilism. What is that? Let me look it up real quick.
That's okay, yeah.
But, so, like, the idea is that Stoicism is, like, there's nothing that you can do to change the world.
Right.
It will happen. Everything that is going to happen
will
already happen. It's been planned. And, sorry, it's hard to talk and
that's
type
okay.
At the same time.
That's how I view it, is that right there. It's all planned already. We're just kind of experiencing it.
Right.
I still think you create your own destiny, but I don't know.
No, 100%. It's, Cynicism.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Okay, so, so Stoicism, everything's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do to change it. The only thing you can do is play your part. You know what I mean? Is like, that was one of Marcus Aurelius' things. It's like, the best thing that a human can do is serve other humans. You know what I mean? Because that's what we were placed on this planet for. We're social creatures, and that's how we survive, is by each other's side.
Yeah.
But cynicism is the exact opposite. It's like, everything's random. There's not, like, and anything can happen at any given moment. And so just kind of live your life however way you want. You know what I mean? Like, and specifically, I love Diogenes of Sinope as the example, because he was just a bum. He was straight up one of the smartest people, like, on the planet at the time, but he chose to live like a bum. Yeah. Like, the story is he took nothing. He lived in a barrel, half a barrel in the market, and he used to have a bowl. You know, what he used to, like, eat and drink out of. But then one day he saw a kid, the story goes, he saw a kid, like, drinking out of the river just with his hands, threw the bowl away. He's like, I don't need this shit. The kid can do it without the bowl. I can do it without the bowl.
Interesting.
Threw it away. But that was, like, his whole point is, like, be the minimalist. But one of the funnier stories, it's like, what is it? Alexander the Great was a huge fan of Diogenes. Okay. And so the dude that literally took over all of the known world at the time went to visit Diogenes, and he was like, hey, big fan. If there's anything I can do, let me know. And Diogenes just looked up at him and he said, yeah, you can do something for me. Move over. You're in my sunlight.
That's wild.
Just absolute no shits given.
None.
Like, I absolutely love that idea. It's just, you know, live life, because there has to be a balance of it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you can live according to some of the guidelines of cynicism, but you can also live to some of those guidelines of stoicism at the same time. You know what I mean? But it is that balance. It's like the stark difference. It's like, yeah, nothing matters no matter what I can do, or no matter what I do, nothing will change. Or at the same time, it's like, but also, you know, control your destiny, carpe diem, you know, seize the day type shit. Yeah. And I don't know, there's beauty in both of them, but I don't know. It's easier in theory, harder in practice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That definitely a fine line. It is funny the parallels between the two. But that's a good one, because I see value in both of them. Nihilism, I don't really at all, because nihilism is more like everything sucks.
Yeah, just being the pessimist all the time.
Everything's already screwed up, so I'm always pessimistic.
But I don't know. It's hard not to live like that, because I am such a diehard pessimist. You know what I mean? I am such a glass half empty type of guy. But like, my theory behind it is I live as a pessimist because I can never be disappointed. if I always expect the worst out of every situation, if like I go into a test, oh, I'm gonna bomb this test, or I go to ask out a girl, it's like, oh yeah, no, she's gonna say no. You know what I mean? And I always have that expectation in my mind. So then when I go and actually do it, and say I do well on the test, I'm not like, I'm just pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That's not what I was expecting. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if I go in there and I bomb it, I'm like, oh, well, this is what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I can't be like disappointed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, disappointment sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I just keep the, it's so bad to say, keep the expectations low, you can never be disappointed. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's true, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's there's some flaws with that, you know, philosophy, but I don't know. It's one of those ones that protects against like unnecessary suffering in my ideas.
There you go.
You know?
I like that. Unnecessary. It's always, a lot of it's unnecessary.
Right.
Right. That's one majority of suffering is unnecessary.
Yeah. A lot of the suffering that you do endure, it's like self-imposed. You know what I mean? And all it has to do is like simply be like, you know what? Fuck this. You know what I mean? And then boom, the suffering's gone.
Yeah.
But you'll just sit there and hold on to it and let it like.
It's unreal. You just let it fester and build and have so much power over you. It's wild. I don't know. It's just how the brain works, I guess, right?
Right.
Just to like avoid those experiences again or protect you in some way, but in reality, you're just reliving it.
Right. Over and over.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's interesting. It's like the most universal thing, and it'll never go away.
no.
So it's when you learn to cope with it and live with it, you become better.
Right. You just got to learn to ride that line.
You gotta learn to appreciate suffering and enjoy it because it's not going anywhere. Right. You know what I mean? It's a universe. Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
But what about you? What would you say? Are you say more like the pessimist, or do you like to find like the optimistic point of view?
Definitely optimistic point of view. Just because I've been in places where I've dealt with pessimists and had to, in turn, became a pessimist.
Right.
And it just makes me feel awful.
Right.
So, I don't know. Definitely more optimistic. I expect disappointment, though,
right,
sometimes, because I don't like feeling disappointed.
Right.
But I still try to see the positives instead of negatives.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Just how I live. How I like to live.
Right.
I also have very high expectations for myself, though.
Yes, I feel that because I do keep myself to a higher expectations than what I expect of the world around me, just because I know, like, the capability that I am capable of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I always expect the worst from people, but expect the best from myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to rely on someone else for something.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just going to expect that they, you know, mess up, do it wrong or whatever, and then I'm going to have to come in and do it myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at any point that I'm fairly confident that I can do those things myself. You know what I mean? Because I know what I'm capable of.
Sometimes I think I'm unrealistic just because I watch people like David Goggins who just absolutely tear through life and make it his bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like I see what is possible. So I don't think I'm doing enough, which can be bad, but I don't know. I try to live the best I can.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No. And I don't know. The doing enough, that isn't, because it's like comparing apples to oranges, because yes, I do, like David Goggins, he's incredible. I've read both of his books.
Absolute superhuman, yeah.
Phenomenal human.
Right.
But you're not like on that same path of life that he's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to create your expectations for the path that you're on. You know what I mean? He went and did all of his things just to, you know, quote unquote, become the hardest motherfucker on the planet.
Which he is.
And he did that.
He did that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if your goal is not to become the hardest motherfucker on the planet, say you want to be the most successful YouTuber or podcaster that you can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as you put all that, you know, effort, like the
Hard
same
work.
amount of effort that he's putting, just hard work, you know, you are doing the exact same thing he's doing.
Just in a different vertical.
Yeah, just a
Which is a
different
fair way to
vertical.
look at it.
Right?
Yeah. I think I always reference him because it's like the most extreme, right? Because like human like pain and exercise, there's not much more extreme than that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like there's mental extremes, but like the stuff he does, probably one of the most extreme things anyone does.
Yeah, no, physically, mentally, you know, like all those like ultra marathons, he talks about those a lot in his books and his Navy SEAL experience,
Right.
but I really like the ultra marathons. You know, he'll be training, you know, for these high elevation races, and it's like, once he finally gets there and starts like the race, he, you know, already has shin splints, already has fractures in his foot, already has torn muscles before he ever even starts the race. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm here to do this shit. I don't care how I feel, so I'm going to do it. That is such a powerful thing.
It's so powerful. And it's so true, though, because it just shows how much the human body can do.
Yeah, no,
like once you take the
seriously.
mental aspect out of it, like he's still doing it. He said, I'm already here, so I'm going to do it, right?
Right. He said something about like the 40% cap. You know, like, so when you think in your head that you're giving 100% effort and then you can do nothing more, in reality, you're only giving like 40% effort. You know what I mean? But as soon as you're able to like go through that mental block of being like, oh yeah, I can do more, I've got more in me, that's when you start to really, you know, reach that potential of full 100% effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And truly, I don't think that 100% effort is truly achievable because I feel like 100% effort results in death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in David Goggins' like terminology, like truly given 100% effort towards a physical exertion, I mean, there's stories of people just exerting themselves to death.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what was it that it was a story of like this is like such a far back memory from childhood, so I'm gonna butcher the shit out of it. So don't like quote me on this, but way back in like ancient Greece times, there was like a fight going on between these two different civilizations, and they needed to get like a message to this other civilization for like backup. So they sent this one runner, and the story is he ran for like 5 days and 5 nights.
A marathon?
Yeah.
Marathon guy?
Yeah, okay. Just straight. And by the time he got there and delivered his message, he tipped over and died of exhaustion.
That's what they needed.
But truly, he gave his 100% effort, and he got that message there, and those troops were sent and reinforcements or whatever. You know, the battle waged on. But because of his 100% effort, it killed him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Literally, yeah.
It killed him, you know. And, you know, people can do the same thing in terms of a podcasting thing, podcasting or social media influence, you know. You give 100% of your life to this, and it may not be a physical death, but it's like, you know, you do lose that part of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because instead of you know, focusing on yourself and your health, that, you know, you just put that on the back burner. So, you know, you may not physically die, but you definitely lose a part of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With 100% effort, I think there does bring loss.
Yeah. And that's why I took a step back from social media for a while, just because I was. Like, I would eat once a day. Instead of eating, I'd do YouTube.
Right.
I weighed like 140. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Definitely. You can definitely overexert, right? And put too much in.
100%.
I think the biggest thing in life is balance with
Truly.
everything.
You got to understand, like, the challenge at hand. You know what I mean? Because certain applications require different approaches. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you can't give 100% effort towards something that isn't going to return on that investment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, say with a relationship or whatever, you know, you're giving your effort, but it's just not being reciprocated, or like, you know, it's just not getting that same type of effort back, you know?
Yeah.
Then at some point you got to realize, like, oh man, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You either got to like change up something there, or like go and find something that will return that effort. Yeah. Will give you that and return on investment type shit.
Right. Relationships the biggest one, I think, too, because like it's it can either be one-sided or it can be both-sided, and when it's one-sided, it can be awful.
Right.
Awful experience. But
yeah, that's where I think you get into that, like, you know, controlling narcissist. You know, one person just basically runs the other person's life, and that's awful.
Yeah, it is.
You know, circling back to that, it's independence, not codependence.
Right.
You know, you got to be good by yourself.
Biggest thing is being alone, which men have to do. It's superpower. It really is.
Truly.
It's like, that's just how we have to be. Right?
But it's so hard to achieve that, you know what I mean? Because it's easy to fall into that like pit, that depression, you know what I mean? Because I've been there, you know, you're by yourself, there ain't nobody around you, and you're like, oh fuck, it's hopeless. But it's not hopeless, you know what I mean? You just got to learn how to rock with that, because unfortunately, as a man, no one's going to come and save you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's either drown or learn how to swim.
Really, though.
You know what I mean? But once you do learn how to swim, it seriously is so powerful.
Right.
I mean, solitude almost becomes comforting.
Really, though.
You know what I mean? It comes to a point where it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this drama. I'll just, you know, be by myself. You know, because solitude is peaceful.
Yeah.
If you can like master it, solitude is very peaceful.
Right.
You don't have to deal with anyone bullshit. You can just focus on yourself, do what you enjoy by yourself. But also at the end of the day, we're social creatures, so we do need some sort of, you know,
interaction.
Yeah, interaction on that level.
Which is why I think deep friendships and bonds between friends can help, right? Because like intimacy in relationships are like have you heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
It sounds familiar, but I wouldn't be able to describe it.
It's like the basic things that everyone needs in order to reach self-transcendence. That's what they call it. Like the highest level that you can be.
Okay.
And the very bottom one, after food and water, like basic shelter, is relationships and like intimacy,
right?
Because that's how we are as humans. So I think if you have like deep friendships, I think those can count, right?
Right.
Just because like you have that bond with somebody, because like we do need it as humans.
100%.
But like you can be 100% alone and live in the woods and you know what I mean, mountain man, but we do because we're social creatures.
100%. And like I think you're exactly right there because intimacy doesn't have to be like say sexual,
right?
But it's just more so vulnerable. You know what I mean? If you're like brave enough or you have those relationships with your boys,
right,
that you can break yourself down. You know, like I will full well admit, and I'm not ashamed of this. You know, I've cried in front of my boys,
right, which is good.
You know, what
it's
I mean?
a good thing that you can do that.
You know, and I'm not a crier. I haven't cried in fucking. It's had to be at least a year now,
right?
But when I was going through it, like last year, you know, I had to break down right in front of my boys. Yeah. You know what
Sometimes
I mean?
You have to.
But at the same time, I felt comfortable with that intimacy. And then it only grew our friendship afterwards.
Now you guys are stronger than ever.
You know what I mean? Like they trust me, I trust them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's
Which is
what
good.
you need, the relationships.
That's good. Very good. Because, I don't know. Forgot what we were talking about, why that happened. But it is a thing. Just that bond, that trust, it's essential for everything. You know what I mean? A lot of service level in college too, which is why it's good that you can find that.
Right.
Because everywhere you look, it's service level.
Right.
What's your name? What's your major? Oh,
Type
cool.
shit.
How are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you? Like the age-old question. You walk past somebody. How are you? Good. How are you? No one cares.
Yeah, that's not a relationship.
Yeah, you're just saying hi.
Right.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know. And in college, it is hard to find that because a lot of people get caught up in partying and all that, right? Like the college is sometimes can be very life-sucking. That's what I've noticed.
Yes, 100%.
Very, very morals, ethics. Sometimes they're non-existent. But
you know, because everyone thinks it's like, and I agree with this mentality, but you know, it's college. This is the time where you're supposed to have fun, but this is also the time where you're supposed to make mistakes.
Right.
This is the point, and like this is like the true turning point from like being a child to an adult.
Right.
You know, this is where you start getting like actual responsibilities. You know, for most people. This is like the first time you step away from home. This is the first time where it's like, okay, my decisions have consequences, so I gotta like figure out how to live with myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know, these people, they'll get to college and they'll drink themselves right out. You know what I mean? Because they get here and they're like, you know, skipping class and all that stuff. So they'd rather just go drink. But there has to be some sort of balance to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're right. A lot of people lose that balance. And, you know, it's so dangerous. It's either this is where you learn yourself or this is where you lose yourself.
Which is crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what they say. Yeah, I've heard that saying before, but it really is true. Like, it really is. The college can be the trenches sometimes.
Seriously.
You know what I mean?
Like, seriously.
Like, some of the things these people are doing is crazy to me, but yeah.
These last 2.5 years have been some of the best times of my life and also some of the worst times of my life.
Right.
But at the same time, I will do it all over again just because, you know, it's part of the experience.
Exactly,
and
which is good.
I'm not trying to be no Van Wilder or nothing, you know, 7-year senior, but like, you know, I'm going to miss this place once I'm done.
I will miss it, which is, it's sad. I might get a master's. We'll see.
Go to grad school?
Here, actually.
Okay.
It's online. It's only a year long.
Oh, very nice.
So I might be able to stay. Jacob said he's going to ask, but I might be able to stay in because I haven't done 8 semesters yet.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see if I even want to do it while I'm getting a master's.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a lot more work.
True.
A lot more distractions that can take me away from that, but I don't know.
Right.
I kind of want to. We'll see.
And what would you be getting your master's in?
Communications.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's what all this is. Communications. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I've thought about grad school, but mine would be another 4 years and it'd be a doctorate.
I mean, it could be cool.
It would be cool. I mean, Dr. Mason Barratt sounds like a fucking sick title.
It is a sick title.
But, you know, I'm going to get done with these 4 years and then I'm going to have to like really sit down with myself and be like, do I really want to do 4 more years?
Yeah.
Or am I like just ready to go out and start, you know, doing this whole thing called life?
Where are you planning? You plan to move out of Utah?
So, as a geology major for the first little bit, I do plan on staying here just because there's a lot of opportunities in that field here.
Yeah, a lot of geology.
It's also my home state. I feel comfortable here. You know, I know this state. Right. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, I think I do want to get out of Utah. But I honestly don't know where. It just honestly depends, like, seriously, the grad school situation. Because if I go to grad school, I'll obviously move wherever I'm going to school.
Yeah.
Live there for a bit, finish my years. But if I do go to grad school, it'd be for volcanology.
Yeah.
So, and if I do that, I'm out of this country. I'm going to New Zealand.
That'd be dope.
Like
for grad school or afterwards?
Oh, afterwards. If I go to grad school and get become a volcanologist, I'm out. I'm going to New Zealand.
Do you need the grad school to become one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is a doctorate, because one of the professors in the geology program, Dr. Jason Kaiser, he's a volcanologist.
Nice.
Yeah, and it took him 4 years of grad school.
Is New Zealand very heavy in volcanoes?
New Zealand is a volcano.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's like everywhere in the Atlantic is, well, basically all the way, or not the Atlantic, excuse me, the Pacific. Basically on all edges of that oceanic plate, the Pacific plate, is getting subducted underneath continental plates or other oceanic plates, and that's what creates volcanoes. So, like, and New Zealand is right on that edge. That's why all those volcanoes are in Japan. That's why the Aleutian Island chains are all volcanoes. That's why we have volcanoes on the Pacific Northwest. And, Hawaii is kind of like an exception because that's a hotspot volcano.
Yeah.
But, all those earthquakes and volcanoes and activity, like that tectonic activity, happens in that area. It's called the Ring of Fire for that.
Yeah. That makes more sense, actually, Ring of Fire. Interesting. What about Yellowstone?
Yellowstone is another hotspot volcano.
Yeah.
And I think nobody should be worried about that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because one of my favorite ideas within geology is a geologic time scale, because it is nowhere close to what the human time scale is.
Right.
A human time scale soon is like a year.
Yeah.
A geologic time scale soon is like
a million.
Yeah, 100,000 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they're like, oh yeah, Yellowstone's going to go off soon, they're like predicting a 20,000, 30,000 year,
eruption
soon.
Right.
Of course, at any point it could just go off with no warning.
Right.
But well, there would be warning. There literally has to be a build. It's like a rocket ship. Volcanoes kind of have to charge up before they
erupt.
Go. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's not even going to be our 10 times great grandchildren problem.
Yeah.
Humans are going to kill humans before Yellowstone kills humans.
That's fair. That's a fair take. Yeah, because it'll be a while.
Yeah. No, but they say if it does go off and when it does go off next, they'll put so much ash into the air that the northern hemisphere of the planet will no longer be livable.
For how long?
Until the fallout settles out. It's called volcanic fallout, volcanic winter. And they just pump so much ash into the air that it blocks out the sun. And like there are theories that massive eruptions like that have started ice ages.
That'd be crazy. Ice age in our lifetime would be wild. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, no, but it would be tragic because like 90%, 95% of all the food that is consumed on the planet is grown in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, it'd be bad. It'd be very bad.
Yeah, we would be down bad.
Yeah. Very.
You would be considered one of the lucky ones if you just died in the actual eruption.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What about, would it cover the southern at all, or no? Southern would be good?
Well, it's more of like a gravitational thing, especially with the equator, wind circulations and just basic like weather patterns and stuff like that. So there is like a current and a wind that kind of just follows the equator around, and that would be kind of like a barrier. You know what I mean? So, of course, a little bit might spill over, but the majority of it would be caught up in those winds and just circulate in the northern hemisphere.
Be so much too.
Oh,
how far would the rocks? Would it reach us?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when it like up in Vernal, we would be in we're in a little safer spot, but where I'm from in Vernal, if it would go off, we would be considered in the dead zone.
Interesting.
Like if it went off, it would be everyone in that 100-mile radius gone.
Dead. Yeah.
That's
no crazy.
Chance.
That's absolutely wild. Are there any other ones? What are the other big super volcanoes? I only ever hear about Yellowstone.
So Yellowstone is considered a super volcano, but it's just a hotspot volcano. Those are kind of like phenomenons because it's not really known why those are things. But like Hawaii itself, that's a hotspot volcano.
Okay.
So you can actually see. So you know how like Hawaii, the islands kind of go up in that northwestern pattern. That's because that's the direction the plate's moving.
Oh.
So because that hotspot doesn't move, but the plate on top of it does.
Right.
So like what we consider the big island of Hawaii now is actually actively moving off of that hotspot.
Interesting.
So then it would just become another one of those islands in the chains. And as you notice, like the islands get smaller and smaller because they're just eroding away. Because there's no more material, no more volcanic activity to create new crust.
Right.
So they just eventually they'll just get weathered away, and it's actually really cool. It's like an underwater mountain chain. You can trace Hawaii and the plate movement of the Pacific plate all the way up to like the Aleutian Island change.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're called underwater seamounts, but it goes up in a pattern like this, and then it just turns, and then it goes straight up. So at one point, that's when the plate turned and then started moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Interesting. That is wild. What about the mantle?
The mantle. Like,
how far down is that again?
So it depends, you know, because oceanic crust is way thinner. Like oceanic crust, I think, is only like a mile and a half, 2 miles thick. But like continental crust is like tens of miles.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Long time, yeah.
But like, really, it's actually really interesting because the mantle is like Play-Doh. Is kind of how like the idea of it is. Obviously, we can't go down there and study it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a soft but like mushable material, and it has like some buoyancy for it because like that's what the plates right now, they just float.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why they're able to move because it's like just they're floating on a very, very, very thick liquid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. It's because it's not quite liquid. It's just very soft, raw, like Play-Doh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's movable.
Right.
You know, but yeah, no, it's just kind of basically what we float on and what causes a lot of the tectonic activities. You know what I mean? Because as a plate gets subducted and causes that volcanism, it's because as it goes into the mantle, it begins to melt. And then obviously hot things tend to rise. So that's where magma starts to find little cracks in the crust and starts to squeak through. You know, and that's just as the mantle melts that crust.
Right. And it's only so hot because of pressure, right?
Yeah.
Pressure, and it gets, because of the pressure, it gets more hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Under greater pressures, it's like, what is it? That's, pressure and temperature and volume, like all directly scale with each other. You know, like you take a container and you keep the same amount of like gas in it, but shrink it by half the size, then the pressure increases by, 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? But same with that, with all the weight and pressure of the plates on top of it. Creates a lot of activity.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? And it is the reason like that the plates are moving around.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting because like there's the mantle and the outer core and the inner core. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. No. And those are even more interesting like topics. It's like, did you know that the Earth's magnetic field switches?
I've heard of that before.
Like the North Pole, what we consider the North Pole, if there was that magnetic switch, would point south as we know it. You know what I mean? And there's like, they have no idea how that happens or why it happens, but it's been recorded through like geologic history because it's really interesting. You find like, and it's really apparent on the ocean crust, it's like a barcode. So like at mid-ocean ridges where magma spews out, there are some magnetic minerals in there. And they'll either be oriented in a northward direction or a southward direction. And that's how we're able to know that it's like switching because it'll be in layers. It'll be like, okay, on this side it's going north. On the layer outside it's going south. On the layer outside that it's going north.
You're like, okay.
And we're able to like see how long that changes just by how, wide or how much of that oriented crust is there. But
that's what protects us too from the sun, right? The magnetic field.
Yes. Solar radiation. If it wasn't for the magnetic field, we would be
dead.
Scorching hot. Scorching hot.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, but they say it's like some sort of mantle dynamics or core dynamics that like do that, but no one has any idea.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it is very interesting how it works.
And like if, we don't even know like what the process is of switching that. You know what I mean? It could be catastrophic or it could just be that we wake up one day and it's like, oh, I guess south is north now.
It would be wild.
Right.
I don't know. It could be interesting. But it would still provide the same protection, you'd think, right?
Yeah, I think it would, but it's like, just because the Earth has been here for so long, because if it would change, then we would kind of be scorched already.
Right, yeah.
But my idea of it is, say it does happen within our lifetime, how would that affect the, like, transportation of things?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everything is based off of
north, south, east, west.
Exactly, and then it switches. Now, does it switch like this, or does it just flip on like the x-axis?
Right.
Is west still west, or is west now east?
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be wild. I don't know. Be crazy to think about, though, huh?
Yeah. No.
Interesting.
It's one of those things. It's like, wow. But that's what I find so interesting about geology is there is a lot of unanswered questions, but at the same time, all the answers to our questions are already here.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like finding them. And it's like the history of it too. Like, so the gorge as you drive from St. George to Mesquite. That's about 1 billion, not a million, 1 billion years of Earth's history worth of rocks.
Just right there.
And if you know how to like read them, then that'll tell you so much. You know what I mean? Like climatic conditions at the time, what sort of deposits were going on, what type of environment it was at that time.
Right.
And what's even crazier is it changes. You know what I mean? At one point, it could have been underwater, and at the other point, it could have been a shoreline, and at the other point, it was a volcano, but then at the other point, it was like a plains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just really interesting if you learn how to read.
The rocks?
Yeah, they're called like stratigraphic columns specifically, but if you can learn how to read that stuff, it gives you so much knowledge on, you know, what happened a billion years ago. Humans weren't even a thing a billion years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, really though.
Like we were just freaking like algae on, you know, rocks.
Which is crazy. That's where science and religion start to clash a lot, huh?
Right.
It's going through that kind of stuff.
Right. See, and I grew up in a religious household, and I don't know, my religious beliefs aren't exactly like under any one religion. Yeah. You know what I mean? I couldn't just be like, oh yeah, I'm like Christian or whatever. Right. Because there are some things that I agree with but disagree with. But
same.
It is hard as a scientific mind to deny any of that stuff now, because it's like you cannot deny numbers and you cannot deny facts. Yeah. It has been scientifically proven that evolution occurs. Yeah. You know what I mean? That we can see it through the geologic record. Yeah. You know what I mean? We know that this planet is, you know, I think like 4-point-something billion years old. You know what I mean? And we can test that. Right. You know? I'm
going to have Dawson and Drew on because they want to argue about religion versus evolution.
Oh, it's evolution. You know what I mean? It's so... I mean, I was reading something the other day, down in Africa, actually, they found what they believe is the earliest ancestors that we could come from. Okay. You know what I mean? Because I don't know all of it. It's like Homo eroticus, Homo sapien, Homo, you know, then it gets to us. Yeah. But they say they found a skull of like basically what you could call the Adam and Eve of humans. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
which is interesting.
You know, and to each their own. Everyone has their own beliefs, and they can believe what they like. But
it's just hard to deny it when there's actual proof.
Exactly. You know I mean, I'm very much a logically minded person, and if there's facts to back it up, then you simply cannot deny facts.
Because their thing is always like, evolution's been disproven. I watched this TikTok, or I watched this or that, right? But they've never done actual research on it.
Right.
And I've been doing research lately on religion just because I want to see their point of view.
Right.
And like, it doesn't make as much sense, I'll be honest.
But. No, because you got to remember that religion is a man-made construct. Geology, or like just the process of this planet, is just nature.
We're just here. You know, we're at nature's will. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like, but even with the humans, you can physically see evolutions in animals. Right. You know what I mean? Like the ancestor to the blue whale used to have 4 legs,
which is crazy.
And then you can trace in that skeletal structure at like comparing from one species to another to another to another. You know, like millions or hundreds of thousands of years apart from each other. You can see those bones that used to be feet are now like tailbones. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you can see how they like changed into that position over time.
Yeah, I still believe in something, right? But I think whatever that something is made evolution occur. Because evolution happened, right? There's no denying it.
None at all.
None at all. It happened. And so you got to align facts with religion in some way. You can't just deny it. Like, oh, that's Satan's doing. You know what I mean? It's complete ignorance. And I don't know how people can live that way.
And I don't know. I feel like there's a comfort factor to it. Yeah. Because it terrifies people that maybe like, well, maybe there wasn't a God that created our planet and that made us in his image or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. But a lot of people hold on to that fact as like a comforting fact. You know what I mean? They're, I would say, maybe not scared of death, but scared of what happens afterwards. And the fact that evolution could be like, oh yeah, I mean, this is what happens, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then that's like, oh, wait, so you're telling me there isn't a God that made us? There isn't an after, you know what I mean? Because that's where they take it. Right. You know what but I don't know. I guess I'm not scared of it. You know, it's like, fuck it. Either there is an afterlife and you're like, okay, cool. Or it's just black and you don't know any different.
You won't even know. Yeah. You'll just be dead.
You're just gone.
Yeah. You won't even know, which is like why it shouldn't be scary.
Exactly. You know? Take your time, enjoy the time that you have here, because who knows what's next. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think if hell does exist, I don't think me making the decisions I make constitute me going to hell.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like as long as you're still a good human, even though you're not following every single commandment, quote unquote.
Right.
I don't believe in a God that's going to send me to hell for drinking alcohol.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. See, and I had, this is one of my original thoughts that like, I used to go to a Christian private school and I had these thoughts during that time, like at a very, very young age. I left that school when I was in 6th grade. Well, I guess after 6th grade, so going into 7th. But, and I would always get in trouble for this because during like Bible lessons or whatever in the morning, I would be like, well, hey, that's not fair. Why is this God that apparently loves all of his children and all of his creations, why is this the only right one? So you're telling me if I was born in like, say, India and and believed in Hinduism, just because I was born in India and that was the dominant religion that I grew up with, I'm gonna get sent to hell?
Yeah, it's wild to me.
You know, I don't think that one religion's wrong. I think they're all like, you know, right, if as long as you believe in that, like it'll get you to that afterlife.
Yeah.
But it's like, it wouldn't be fair. You know what I mean? Just because I was born in this situation where the right religion happened to be the dominant one. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, and I would get in trouble for that. They would tell me to stop asking questions.
Of course.
You know?
Of course, stop asking questions.
You know?
Yep. That's how it goes. Don't ask questions. Don't ask too many questions.
Exactly.
I listened to a cool podcast the other day about a guy who he got some sort of third PhD in Bible study.
Right.
Active Christian, I think it was Catholic, actively study the body head to toe.
Right.
And literally his entire life. And from doing that, I think maybe it was more scientific. He's written like 3 books, but he still studies the Bible, but he's no longer Christian.
Right.
Which is interesting because he spent his entire life dedicated to it, but now he's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which, I don't know, just cool.
All it takes is that one little piece of knowledge.
Yeah.
But I truly think that it's a man-made structure.
Oh, for sure.
You know, because there's 3 main religions and everything other than those 3 are just a stem or like a side effect of those 3. And that's Judaism, Christianity, and Muslim, Arabic.
Yeah.
All of their holy lands is Jerusalem.
Right.
All 3 of their major religious like places and symbols are within like a 10-mile radius of each other. Mm-hmm. Like that's where religion as we know it was born.
Right.
And everything else of that has just been like a subsection of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but then you take back to those 3 books, you know, the Bible, the Quran, and I'm trying to remember what
the Torah?
The Torah, yeah. The Jewish book. They are so insanely similar. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there are, of course, the stories aren't the exact same, but the themes and the ideas that they're trying to get across are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're all saying the same shit, just in a different way.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that's what makes no religion wrong, but also no religion right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think there's something happens in the Bible. I think it's around the time Noah's Ark, but I think Ramses II is the pharaoh in Egypt.
Right.
And I think I've done a lot of study on Egypt.
Right.
And I've read about it. I don't think there's any historical account of Noah's Ark happening.
Right.
But like, I don't know. It's cool that some of the parallels do parallel with history in some way.
Right.
Right. Which is nice. But I don't know.
Yeah, there was no like world-ending flood or anything like that. You know what I mean? But then there's the things that are unaccounted for. Like Adam and Eve, you're telling me that they lived peacefully with the dinosaurs, but we know for a fact that the dinosaurs died at the end of the, I believe, let's see, Jurassic, Triassic, Cretaceous. Yeah, the Cretaceous, the Triassic extinction. You know, we could tell that they died from a meteor impact that caused a fallout. They froze. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the shit that gets unaccounted for. But then at the same time, you can also trace historically, like Jesus of Nazareth was a real person. Oh. You know what I mean?
Which is cool.
He
was cool. He was a real person, yeah.
He was a real person. He did get sacrificed upon a cross. You know what I mean? He was buried.
Right.
But 3 days later, he was gone.
Yeah.
Who says that he actually got up and walked away?
Right.
So, some of the followers could have just snagged the body.
Word of mouth.
You know what I mean?
Have faith, right? Just
have faith. Exactly. Don't ask questions. Have faith.
Yeah, that's all it is.
You know?
It's interesting because like religion, if you think about it, it's a good way to control masses, obviously.
100%.
But it's not all negative, right?
No, 100%.
It has good principles and good ways to live. And I notice people who are religious and truly believe in faith and truly say no to humanly desires like alcohol, premarital sex, all that.
Right.
They're genuinely happy humans,
Seriously.
which is cool.
Yeah.
If I could do that, I would, because they're actually happy and they feel fulfilled, which is nice. But at the same time, they're very good values and beliefs to,
Truly.
I guess, exist and like get through life and have some sort of meaning, purpose, busy purpose.
Like as I was saying earlier, like philosophy and religion used to be a separate thing. It used to be philosophy that guided the morality, but nowadays, like your moral guidelines usually come from your religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your beliefs.
Yeah.
That's the one. You know, it's the Bible that tells you don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the type of, you know, that's where you get your moral guidelines from.
Right.
And it used to not be like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say that's one thing I admire about people who are truly religious is how fulfilled they feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Very hard to come by, I think.
Seriously.
Without that, maybe it could still be possible, but they're truly just happy human beings.
See, but you give someone a purpose, or you give someone like an idea that gives them purpose. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think the happiness that stems from that is just fulfillment of that, you know, purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you give someone a cause, then they have something to fight for, something to strive for. You know what I mean? But you just, you know, give them nothing, then they're going to sit there and do nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there are some definite good things that have come from religion, but at the same time, think of how many wars and people died over religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you don't believe in the same thing I do. Okay, I guess you got to die. Like,
really though,
the Crusades? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Like,
because Romans crucified Christ, right? And then 300 years later, Holy Roman Empire.
Yep.
Catholic.
Yep.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah,
right?
you literally
the switch was flipped there pretty quick, but
you literally killed the guy that you're worshiping.
It's absolutely mind blowing that and then after that, I don't know. Religion is it's an interesting thing to study.
Seriously,
because how much it truly controlled everything forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? For literal thousands of years.
Like the Dark Ages.
Dark Ages.
That was 500 or 1,000 years or something. Zero technological advancement,
None.
just because of the pressure that the church put on the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, this is how God intended us to live. This is how we're going to live. You know what I mean? It can be something that's so powerful, but something that's so dangerous at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dark Ages. Ooh, that'd be a rough time to live in.
Seriously.
Yeah. But you're right though, which is even more weird too, because like the pressure of that, there was none. There's barely any technological or any kind of improvement in humanity until you take away the pressure of religion.
Seriously.
Which is kind of crazy how that works, right?
When there's freedom to question.
And then once you start questioning.
Exactly, because that's their thing. Don't ask questions, have faith.
Right.
But once you maybe take the step back and do ask questions, do be curious.
Yeah.
Find out shit for yourself.
These are the ways you got to look at the world sometimes.
Right.
Because, I don't know. Some people without the sight of God, I don't know. God's a very interesting topic.
Right.
And I love studying it throughout history. Just because how persecuted you could be for not believing in God,
right.
You know?
And how persecuted, and how many people were killed
because of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wars were fought.
Over it. Crazy.
And
absolutely crazy.
Just dictated entirely by by a book that a man wrote. Jesus Christ didn't write the Bible. Men wrote the Bible.
Talk about
the
cheap.
Disciples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and men are not perfect. They can change it in whichever way that they want. You know what I mean?
I think I'm going to read the Bible just because I talk so much about evolution and that side, but I don't talk about the religious side of it.
Right.
So I think I need to read it just to be open-minded.
No, 100%.
Both sides of it.
Like knowledge is power in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
The more that you learn, I feel like there's no such thing as useful knowledge. It's just being in the situation that knowledge is applicable.
Right.
But yeah, read the Bible and, because like I said, I grew up in a Christian private school. Yeah. I'm very familiar with the Bible.
Right.
But, no, there is a lot of good moral guidelines. Like if you take the Bible at a philosophy standpoint, like just a morality standpoint, it's a fantastic book.
Of course.
But if you look at it as the religion, like end all be all, this is how we were supposed to live, then I think that's where it gets kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is interesting. It is very interesting. Religion, it always fascinates me.
Right.
Just how people live through it. I think I'm going to read the Torah too, or at least study it a little bit. Just see what's in them.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean?
I would recommend the Quran.
Quran?
Yeah. I have I had one of my best friends down in Louisiana. His name's Jace. He is Muslim and he experienced me to that culture. And then on my own, I went and set out and, to learn more about that culture. And they are such a very peaceful people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel so bad for them because they get like that rap of like, and I don't believe this, but like the terrorists or the extremists or whatever. But at the end of the day, those aren't Muslims. Those are extremists.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will give it in the book, it says, kill everyone who isn't who isn't Muslim because they're an infidel. You know what I mean? They're just a problem.
Yeah.
That's where you, like I said, take it from a philosophy and morality standpoint, great books. Take it as hardcore religious truth, can get kind of dangerous.
Yeah. Of course. It's so dangerous.
Right.
Just like politics. I hate politics too.
Right.
Just because of how divided it makes everybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, seriously. I don't believe in any of it. Like, this is the first year that I could vote for the presidential election. I give two shits.
Really though?
Because no matter who I vote for, it doesn't matter.
At all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The 2024 presidential election is already decided.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that.
Right.
There's nothing we can do to change it. Whoever's going to be president in 2024 has already been decided to be the president.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Plus, it's just all, oh God.
Right.
So many news. I hate the news. I hate social media. I hate politics. I hate it all.
False information.
Really, though, all of it.
And people take it as truth.
Right.
No one's even curious to do their own research anymore. And that is mind-boggling to me. I always try to research for myself. You know what I mean? Because I like to have. I don't like to have an opinion. I like to have an educated opinion.
Right.
If we're talking about something that I truly have no idea about, I'll just not say anything.
Right.
Because I don't have any knowledge to create a proper opinion, an educated opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the issue is now every day everyone has an opinion on something and they know nothing about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
That's
how it goes. They saw one thing one time like a year ago or whatever.
Exactly. They saw one TikTok that freaking Ben Shapiro told them this type bullshit.
Oh God. That's how it is. That's how it is.
Oh man.
I like listening to him though.
Yeah.
I love listening to Ben Shapiro.
He's got some interesting
He's
ideas.
so funny. He's a very funny man. But yeah. I don't know. People just need to be more self-aware.
Seriously.
And not as much sheep.
I think people need to just be more curious.
That too.
Ask
more questions. Do their own research.
Seriously. Never
want to learn.
Exactly.
Knowledge
is power.
That's a big one.
Yep.
Want to learn and want to change.
Exactly.
Two biggest things, I think.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But
well, King, it's been about 2 hours.
Yep.
We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like we've had a great conversation. I truly appreciate this opportunity.
Thanks for coming on.
I really enjoyed it.
It was a good time. The conversations need to be had.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Which is good.
If you're ever looking for another guest, I'll happily come back.
Let me know. I'll let you know. Well, it's been a good one, and we'll catch you later.
We'll see ya.